Stand up, New York Giant fans. Fresh off our first one of the year. Still feels good, Baddog. Still feels good, Baddog.
Feels amazing. You and I did the game, as we do every game. We'll do the game tomorrow. You're going to want to miss that one. The live reactions are always the best. Getting murdered, getting killed, looking bad, sitting there watching the game, disbelief, can't believe this is happening again. Not against Cowboys, but against the lowly Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
And then our guy, Daniel Jones, went into the phone booth, came out of that phone booth as Danny Super Dimes.
Oh, I like that.
The Giants. What's that?
I like that. I like that.
The Super Dimes. Chris, what a comeback, man. I was watching the game. It's almost like I couldn't even cheer because I was nervous because I wanted to win. And I knew, looking at this game, facing the Niners at 0-2, not bright prospects at all. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, God, are they really going to make this comeback? Are they really going to do it? Offense caught fire in that second half. Daniel Jones is amazing. Jalen Hyatt got it all going to start with. So I want to see a lot more of him. Obviously, there's no Barkley. That was the bad news about that game. He made that comeback, and Barkley got hurt. No Andrew Thomas in this game as well. The good news is after this game, they get 11 days rest for Monday against Seattle. Hopefully, they can get it done. But I'll be honest, man. I'm watching that game at halftime. I thought we were getting blown out. I was on the verge of tears. I was ready to quit.
I thought the season. I mean, how could you not? The team had been outscored 60-0 through 6 quarters. The offense looked stagnant. The defense still needs to get a lot better. I know they came up with 2 big stops late in that game to give us the opportunity to win. But the story I take out of that game is, one, a lot of resiliency with this team. Granted, you're going up against the Arizona Cardinals. We all know Arizona, at least we assume Arizona is trying to tank, not the players, but the team itself. So on paper, of course, it's not an impressive win. It's a win we all expected going in. But the method in which you did it, I think it showed a lot of resiliency from this team. This is a team that was beaten and scarred the first 6 quarters this year, outscored 60-0. For them to respond the way in which they did, to have the greatest comeback. I think what is it during at least in the Super Bowl era in New York? Yeah, in the Super Bowl era in New York Giants history. So for them to come back from that deficit in a half, Daniel Jones put up historical numbers. I think it was the first time since Michael Vick where a quarterback had 250 yards passing, 50 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, whatever it was, in a single half. So, the takeaways from that game for me are, one, the team is incredibly resilient. I think that speaks volumes of the head coach. Dable's adjustments at halftime, I don't care what he said after the game. You could see it after the game. I watched it because, as we're calling the game, obviously I'm not too focused on him calling the plays. I'm trying to call the game. But when I watch back the highlights and the clips of him on the sideline, it was pretty clear he was calling the plays. What I take out of that, though, is that Dable putting his coaches above himself, above his ego. He knows if he says that damages Kafka in the future in terms of being able to get a head coaching job, things like that. But Dable made the halftime adjustments. He gave his team the best opportunity to win that game. So that's what I take out of it. Daniel Jones played out of his mind. Dable made incredible.
Your mic went out.
Like you said, the emergence of Jalen Hyatt. I'm just going to get rid of it. The emergence of Jalen Hyatt. But the thing that still worries me, and the offensive line needs to be talked about. Those guys stepped up. McKeithen,
they did.
Studu did a fantastic job in the second half. But the thing that worries me outside, and the offensive line still worries me massively, but the pass rush is still non-existent. Through 2 weeks, Baddog, we don't have a sack and we don't have a turnover created. You're not going to win football games in the NFL if that continues.
Especially against upper echelons teams. Like against the Niners, if we have a chance, we need extra possessions. That happens by defense turning the ball. We need a short field.
Yeah.
We need a short field. Before I go any further, I just wanted to say this. I noticed the other day, this is kind of off topic. I mean, it's a Giants topic, but I noticed Mark Holmes tagged me in a video about how Micah Parsons and Lawrence Hill are saying, Mark Holmes, let me tell you something there, buddy. I'm not getting involved with this with you, right? I don't care what you say. I'm not going to respond to your stupid video. if you're actually comparing the two or think Micah Parsons is anywhere in the level of Lawrence Taylor, you don't know football. It's that simple. Micah Parsons may end up being as good as Lawrence Taylor, but when he has 8 first-team All-Pros, he's won 2 Super Bowls, he's won 3 Defensive Players of the Year, the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Oh, wait, Parsons can't win that. And an MVP, then we'll have the discussion. You need to worry about Cobb Pizzle because Cobb Pizzle has owned your ass, Mark Holmes, for years. That's the guy you need to worry about, not me. I got nothing to do with it. Cobb Pizzle owns your ass. I'm going to let Pizzle continue to own your ass, not me. So worry about him because you can't take him, so it doesn't really matter. So I'll let Cobb Pizzle handle you. But that's like I say, Michael Parsons 8 LT, we'll leave it at that. Go make another 90 videos in your garage or woodworking or taking a shit or whatever you do when you're doing your videos. But Cobb Pizzle will continue to own you. We all know. We all see it. I mean, it's ridiculous.
So he's still talking about Micah Parsons and Lawrence Taylor? Is that still a thing?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I saw he tagged me. I'm like, what the? Get out of here. Go do something else. Don't you have a game against the Cardinals? You already had this opportunity. You should have done this week 1. It don't matter. Like I said, Cobb Pizzle owns Mark Holmes. I watch it happen. I mean, Mark Holmes cries when Cobb Pizzle talks to him, so it is what it is. But yes, I was impressed with the offensive line a lot. I thought McKeithen played really well. Maybe by accident, the Giants might have found something.
Azudu too has to be. I mean, he played left tackle. I mean, he did a really good job too. So and Neal, we didn't say outside of that one horrible penalty down the stretch.
He had a couple in the red zone, but yeah, other than that, they played well.
Just the line as a whole did. And again, it's against Arizona. We know, and we're going to talk about it tonight. This is a much different team than the Arizona Cardinals, especially when it comes to the offensive line. Nick Bosa, you want to talk about it? Maybe that's a guy who you should be comparing Micah Parsons to, a guy that plays in his era. I think Nick Bosa might even be better when the guy's healthy. He's ridiculous, and we'll see how the New York Giants hold up against him this week.
I'm the TJ Watt.
Yeah, TJ Watt. Yeah,
I'm not taking anything away. Micah Parsons,
he's fantastic.
It's special. And listen, there's a video on my page. Somebody commented on the other day. I forgot I even made it. How in the whole video I'm talking about how Micah Parsons is a game changer. I want Micah Parsons. Our defense can be elite with Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is the pick. It's on my channel. I mean, because they started mocking him into the Giants, and I was like, I'll take him. I want him. Put him on the Giants. I don't care about his off the field crap. That guy's a game changer. That guy's special. I knew. He's not Lawrence Taylor. Can we let him play? Can we let him have a body of work for 10 years before we compare to the greatest defensive player in the history of football?
Yeah, relax.
That's Cowboy fans, Chris. They win a bit. They beat the Giants badly. I'm not taking anything away from they torched us. Then they beat the Zach Wilson led Jets, and they all of a sudden they think they're going to have an easy game against Arizona. But when they play Philadelphia, when they play San Francisco, then we'll see what Dallas is doing. I'm not saying Dallas isn't good. Dallas is good. Their defense
Dallas is very good. Dallas is very good. Yeah.
But God Almighty, they're acting like they won the damn Super Bowl. Get to a championship game sometime in the next 30 years, and then we'll talk. Just like I got these stupid Commander fans, and Sam Howell's better than Deion Jones. Sam Howell played. Sam Howell's played 3 games. And he played one of the worst teams in the league in the Denver Broncos. So he had a good game. Whoopity-doo!
And it's not like Daniel Jones didn't have a great game.
Daniel Jones has won more playoff games than the Washington Commanders have in the last 16 years. Okay?
Daniel Jones last week had the greatest half of football any quarterbacks had this year so far. So
they're like, oh, Daniel Jones. I'm not talking about Daniel Jones. When you do something like this, when I say Sam Howell, I'm not scared of Sam Howell. They go, nobody's scared of Daniel Jones. That was like a 300. That's like me saying, you're bald. Does that make me less bald? No. What are you doing? You're deflecting there.
Yeah.
Sam Howell get out of here. Get out of here. Play the Broncos and the Cardinals. Let's get real. Let's see what he does when he plays Dallas. Let's see what happens when he plays. See what happens this week when he plays Buffalo.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah. Stupid teams in this division. I'm telling you, the fan bases are crazy. The Eagle fans are actually the most humble right now. I never in a million years thought I'd be saying that. And they're 2-0, and they're just doing their thing. And it is what it is. All right, now that all that garbage is out of the way, I'll get to those super chats in a minute. Thank you guys. I see them coming in. I'll get to them in a second. How are we winning, Chris?
How are we winning?
Shorthanded. We got.
Yeah.
I kind of tweeted out what I want to do, but I want to get your thoughts. How we?
Yeah,
Pull.
I didn't see what you tweeted out. So for me, this is a game. If I'm Dable, like you said, I'm shorthanded. I have no Andrew Thomas. I have no Azeez Ojulari. I have no Saquon Barkley. I'm going up against arguably the best team in the NFL. Like the 49ers are that good. It's time for.
That's what I
I've
think.
seen a lot of Giants fans downplay them. No, they are
Most
legit.
team in the NFL. I agree.
They're a better version of the Dallas Cowboys. Like they're strong in all facets, but they're better. They have better weapons. They have an equal pass rush. They have a better linebacking core. Like they are better. And they have a better head coach, in my opinion. So this 49ers team is legit. They're incredible. But if I'm Dable, I'm either going to get destroyed in this game or Daniel Jones is going to make some miraculous plays and he's going to keep me in it, because that's the only way the New York Giants, in my opinion at least, stand a chance on Thursday night. I don't trust my defense to be able to create turnovers against that offense. I just don't. They showed me nothing against Arizona. They showed me nothing against Dallas. The pass rush has been non-existent. The 49ers have a great offensive line. They have great weapons. If I'm Dable, I just say, listen, if Jones throws 3 or 4 picks this game and we get blown out, we get blown out. But my only chance, Jones has to hit on some big explosive plays to Jalen Hyatt. Needs to hit on some big explosive plays to Darren Waller. So as crazy as this sounds, and I'm normally against this going up against a team like this, I don't think we're going to be able to run on them. We have no Barkley. Their linebacking core is insane. I unleash Daniel Jones. I think this is one of those games where you say, live by the sword, die by the sword. I know going in, we're at a tremendous disadvantage. We're not nearly as good as this team on paper. And Jones is either going to play out of his mind and give us a chance to win, or he throws 3 or 4 picks and we lose anyway. So that's the way I look at it if I'm Dable. I'm letting Daniel Jones go out there and sling the rock.
Yep. You and I definitely been working together a long time, because that was my take. I've never wanted to take gambles, never wanted to take chances. Play close to the vest. The Giants can't make mistakes. That's the way they're going to win these games. Against San Francisco, if you're completely healthy under the Giants, you are out-talented. We know this. The San Francisco 49er roster pretty much out-talents every other roster in the NFL, all 53 guys. On both sides of the ball, they are an incredible team. So if you're the Giants, you're a 10.5-point dog. You got to take some chances. You got to take some gambles. Throw the ball deep a lot. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah, he throws 3 or 4 interceptions. Would you rather him do that and launch the ball down the field with an opportunity to hit a big play to a Jalen Hyatt, or maybe get a pass interference? Or would you rather stand there back in the pocket and get sacked 8 times and dump the ball down to his slot receivers for a yard? Yeah. There's no reward to that. Play high risk, high reward offense. And the same thing on defense, Chris. You mentioned it. We haven't not had a pass rush all year. Wink has to take some chances. Because if Brock Purdy's able to stand back there all day and throw, it ain't going to matter. He's going to kill us. It could be Kittle. It could be, Ayuk might not play. I think he's a little banged up.
Yeah, it looks like he's not going to play.
Okay, but you still have Deebo Samuel. You still have Christian McCaffrey. Send everybody. Make Brock Purdy earn it. I know he's played well. He's got a fantastic team around him, but make him earn it. Send everybody at him. Just go for it. You got nothing to lose, because if you just try to stand there and go toe-to-toe with these guys, you're going to get your ass kicked. So you might have to run some trickeration, maybe a double reverse, maybe an option pass, maybe a fake punt. You're going to have to go way outside the box to win this one. You're not a 10.5-point underdog for no reason.
Yeah.
So, to me, I feel the same way, and that is obviously take some chances.
This is a game as a Giants fan where if I'm Dable, I'm either going to keep this game incredibly close or I'm going to lose by 30. I don't want anything in the middle. If Jones throws 4 picks, I say, all right, it is what it is. We didn't have Thomas. We didn't have Barkley. We went out there. We slung the rock against one of the best defenses in football. If you are able to create some explosive plays, that's going to keep us in this football game. So that's it. I'm going to be ultra aggressive on both sides of the ball in this game. I'm going to hope to win the turnover battle. That's the only way I'm going to win it. I need to create some deception for Brock Purdy. Maybe I get a tip ball. Maybe I get an interception. I think you got to be ultra aggressive on both sides of the ball. And if you lose by 30, oh well. It's a game we're not supposed to win with the guys we have out. And if you hit on some big plays, you give yourself a chance late in the game to win it.
Correct. Take the fight to them. Take the fight to them. If you lose, you lose. Because you're supposed, like you said, you're supposed to lose. I go in this looking, hey, we got nothing to lose. Everybody's going against us. Everybody's banged up. It's a short week. San Francisco's probably going to expect the Giants to come out and play conservative. Try to hit Hyatt. Try to get Hyatt behind the defense or Slayton behind the defense. Use that speed to the best of your advantage. Or like I said, run some double reverses, run some things that kind of get the 49ers guessing, a lot of pre-snap motion, whatever it is. Try to confuse them. Try to get matchups you like. Try to get Waller in a one-on-one against the linebacker. Do certain things to, in your favor. But you really do need to take the fight to the 49ers because, like I said, they're a 10.5-point dog. And I'm going to lead right into my first sponsor tonight, which is mybookie.ag, guys. You want to go bet on the Giants tomorrow? You want to bet them on the money line and make a lot of money? You want to bet on the Niners? Whatever you want to bet on, go to mybookie.ag, right? You go there, you bet, you put in the promo code BADDOG, which is BADDOG, when you sign up for a new account, make your first deposit. If you use that promo code, you can earn a bonus all the way up to $200 on your first deposit just for entering the promo code. So you got nothing to lose. So do that. You can bet on the Giants, obviously college football, NFL football. It's all here. It's all here for you to bet on now and do it at MyBookie and use the promo code BADDOG. And win yourself some damn money. Lord knows I can't win any damn money, so you might as well win some money because I suck at playing football.
I know you're gonna get to these super chats. I just saw a comment in the chat that I want to speak on that I think is a good comment by Born to be Hated. He says, "I'm proud of the way we fought, but at the same time, what does it really tell us that we're at least the second worst?" I'm gonna tell you, and maybe this is me spinning a positive light on it. And I can't help it. I'm a positive guy. What outside of what I talked about earlier, the resiliency part of this team, and like I said in our show before that game happened. No matter how they beat the Cardinals, I don't really care. I'm not going to get any kind of a tell on the Giants if they win that game by 20 or if they win it by 3. They're the Arizona Cardinals. But what I think the Giants proved to you in that second half, and to me, this isn't taking a step up, but at least they showed you they're capable of blowing out a bad football team. I know the final score did not result in that, but in the second half, they outscored them 31-8. So I think they showed you they're capable, if they get their stuff together, that they're capable of blowing out bad football teams. So I don't know how much you read into that, but that's what I take out of that football game. And the fact that they're resilient.
There was a tale of two halves. I know what some Giants fans want. Oh, we should have beat them by more. A win's a win. I don't know. I don't know what you want. So if they beat the 49ers, are you going to say, well, we should have won that one by 10?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it takes. They won a game. They won a football game that they were down 20-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty happy with the W. I don't care how they win. Again, there's no style points, but some Giants fans will never be sad. They're not happy unless they're miserable. Yeah. They want to complain about, what about the first half? What about the first 6 quarters? The first 6 quarters don't mean shit. The first 6 quarters were in the Bucks.
Yeah.
What about the last 2 quarters? We're talking about the first 6 quarters. Why are we just talking about the last 2 quarters? It's the NFL's like, what have you done for me lately, league? Last 2 quarters, like I said, they outscored the Cardinals 31-8. And Daniel Jones put up 300 yards of offense and 3 touchdowns in 2 quarters. And Jalen Hyatt came out of his shell. And I'm telling you, man, I love Jalen Hyatt. Big Jalen Hyatt fan. I've been since we drafted him. So, listen, man, the Giants have a tough game this week, and there's no question about that. If they lose, I don't expect them to win. I'm not saying they can't. I never go to a game going, we're definitely going to lose. Well, I did with Jake Fromm, a quarterback. But listen, the odds of us winning aren't good. That's why we're a 10.5-point underdog. Doesn't mean it can't happen. Don't mean San Francisco can't have a bad game. Doesn't mean some bounces can't go the Giants' way. We're going to need them all. We're going to need to play really next to perfect football. We're going to have to hit on some shots. We're going to have to get a pass rush.
Yeah, this is a game where you can't afford – like we were asleep the first 2 quarters last week. Right. This is a game where you can't be asleep for 2 minutes.
Correct.
Like the Giants have to be playing A-plus football, especially with the guys that are not playing in this game. You're missing Andrew Thomas and Saquon Barkley, your second and third most important players on the offense. So they have to be A+++ to have any chance in this game, and they need some luck on top of that. That's the way I look at it going into it. I'm being honest. Like, this is gonna be a really tough game to win.
Agreed. I mean, listen, I know this is in 2007, but listen, if anybody understands, if any fan base understands any given Sunday better than the New York Giants fan base, I've yet to find it. Because if there's any team that is something that's like, that's such a Giant thing to do, which is lose to a bad team, and not that we lost Arizona, we probably should have. Yeah. Such a Giant thing to do would be to play bad against Arizona, come out and beat San Francisco. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that is what the Giants do. They're a weird team. But I just said, just give me a chance at 5 minutes ago. Give the ball to Daniel Jones. I think we can get it done. Let me get a few of these super chats. And I also want to show you something that we got some new merch. And I want to just pop it up on the screen in a couple minutes. I want you guys to buy this merch because we're talking about Daniel Jones. I got some Daniel Jones merch. Yeah, I do. It's pretty nice. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. You got a couple things in that store. Working on another one, which I think is great, by the way. Jake, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. He says, during the Cards game, almost got kicked out of my hotel room for yelling too loud. Yeah, good, nice. With my two favorite, Bad Dog Chris. You appreciate it, buddy. Thank you, man.
That was a game where if you were a fan, you couldn't help but yell in that second half. So thank you for watching, Jake.
That's right. Dashy, my man. Dashy with a 420 super chat. What's going on, Dashy? How you doing? Thank you so much.
Smoke weed every day.
He says, Craig Clownton forgot the Bengals play Monday night. Nobody likes Craig Carter. Dashy. Don't pay no sweat to that guy.
Who are the Bengals playing this Monday? I don't even know.
The Rams.
That's actually a better game than I thought it would be at the start of the year.
I don't know if Burrow's playing.
Oh, that's right. He's banged up. Yeah. But the Rams to me have been, I know they're 1-1, but they've been the surprise team of the year for me so far. I mean, they played the Niners tough in their only loss. They've looked better than I thought they would so far.
Yeah. Pinworm, thank you for super chat. My soul for a win. Any takers? The Undertaker. I hear you, man. I'm like, yeah. I'm trying to think, when was the last time we had an upset this big? Would the Seattle game with Joe Judge qualify? That was without Barkley on the road. Seattle, notoriously a tough place to play. Yep. That's about equal to this, you'd say. Listen, I tweeted it out. We need those 2020 Wayne Gallman vibes.
And that was without Daniel Jones, too.
Right? I said we need those 2020 vibes.
Yeah.
Those 2020 Wayne Gallman vibes against the Seahawks. Yeah. No Jones. Yeah. It was Colt McCoy and Wayne Gallman. And we went into Seattle and won a game.
Yeah.
Need some of that.
Yeah. I'd say that was the last time it would be comparable to this.
Yeah. Where they really had no chance. And they had a chance. The defense played well, though. I mean, that was the difference. The defense kicked their ass.
Yeah. So Leonard Williams in that game was out of his mind.
He was unbelievable. Jay, thank you for super chat, brother. He said if Bosa matches up against Neal, I hope Daniel Jones has good cardio. He's going to need it. Yeah. Well, you know what, Jay? It probably ain't going to matter who matches up against Bosa. That guy's a beast. That guy beats pretty much everybody. So Daniel Jones is going to have his head on a swivel, and he's going to have his legs on a treadmill. Without question.
Yeah, Bosa's a beast, man. He's fun to watch. He's incredible.
He is.
Fred Warner, too, another guy. I mean, their defense is loaded. It's loaded. The one silver lining last week, they didn't look so hot. My best friend's a 49ers fan. He watched all the games. He said their defense was underwhelming last week. The Rams were able to move the ball on them. Who knows? Maybe Thursday night, too, a lot of times crazy things happen. It really does because teams aren't always quite themselves. They come out rusty. Yep. Maybe the Niners will be. I'm just grasping at straws, but Thursday night, crazy things happen.
It is. By the way, 700 people in here, guys. Thank you so much, guys. 165 likes. That ain't cutting it. It ain't cutting it. We need more likes, man. Come on, baby. We need positive vibes. We need some Giants W's. We need them. Just give me 5 minutes. 5 minutes ago, Chris, if we're down by 4, 5 minutes ago with Daniel Jones having a ball, I'm good with that.
Yeah. Daniel Jones has definitely graduated, I should say, for me to
gravitated
to when the game is on the line. I think we're gonna win if he has the ball. I honestly believe that. And if 2 years ago I wouldn't have said that, but and some of that obviously had to do with Garrett and Judge. But I knew it as soon as we got the ball. Down 28-21, I said, we're going to score. It's just a matter of can the defense get a stop? And then once we got the ball back 28-28, I knew we were going to win. Because I saw him do it so many times last year. So he's definitely graduated to that. As Shane said, why he paid him. Got to have it moments. He's a guy that I trust at the quarterback spot.
I agree. Big move! Thank you for super chat. He says, need to keep the momentum going. Air it out to Waller and Hyatt. Get the defense to pull it together. Mr. Tibbs and Leo to play. Yeah, can we get Thibodeau? I want to talk to you about that too, by the way. The Kayvon
comment by Thibodeau, man. What is he doing?
So, of course, Authentic had something to say, but it just makes me laugh. This guy.
What happened? I didn't see. I literally. I didn't see any. I've been off of Twitter. I didn't see anything. What happened?
So supposedly, Kayvon said the fans booed. They weren't behind us right away.
I saw that. Yeah,
that's what I mean. So I just commented and I just retweeted with a quote that just said, "Listen," I said, "Give fans a reason to cheer. They'll cheer. Give them a reason to boo. They're going to do that too. That's what fans do."
Right.
It was a poet and I didn't know it. I wasn't trying to do that. I wasn't trying to drop any bars, but it ended up being that. So all I'm saying was they do that. And then things like, that's what he was saying. He's just saying the fans don't help and blah, blah, blah. No, listen, the way that came out from Thibodeau wasn't good at all.
No.
Okay. You do depend on the fans. Maybe not to cheer or boo you. You have to make it happen on the field, whether we're booing or cheering. He said it, he's just saying that didn't bother him, but it did because he wouldn't have mentioned it otherwise.
Yeah.
Heard it otherwise.
Yeah.
But regardless, dude, the fans pay your salary.
Mm-hmm.
The fans have a right. They're not booing you per se. They're booing performance.
They should be booing him the way he's played the first 2 weeks.
Listen, people, I love when people are like, oh, that doesn't help the players. It's not supposed to help the players. It's supposed to let us know, hey, do better. We're not happy with the way you're playing. That's what it means. Hey, I just spent $1,200 for me and my 2 sons to go to the game, and I'm waiting in traffic. I'm sitting in the freaking rain, and it's 26-0 in the blink of an eye. I ain't happy. So I'm going to let you know I'm not happy. We have the right to do that. We're not trying to help.
Listen, do I understand where Kayvon's coming from? In a way, I do. Yeah, I think as a team, sometimes you have to take an us against the world mentality. And sure, I'm sure the booing gets to them at times. One, they were on the road, so what the hell did you expect? Like, you're on the road. You shouldn't be expected to get cheered, especially when you're down 20-0 against the worst team in football.
16-0 for 6 quarters. What are we cheering for?
But 2, that's a battle you're never going to win as a player. You are never going to win, especially in New York.
Right.
Going against the fans. That you're not going to win. So that was just a really dumb comment. And I love Kayvon. I still love Kayvon. I still think Kayvon's going to turn it around this year. But you're not going to win that battle. The New York media is going to make a thing about it. And I'm going to tell you what, if Kayvon does not show up against the 49ers, and then on Monday night when he comes back home and he does not show up against Seattle, he is going to get destroyed. It's just a battle you're not going to win. And I think that when you start to show that it bothers you, it's kind of like trolls on the internet. If you start to show it bothers you, they're just going to pile on more and more and more. So it's just a losing battle on his part. Shouldn't have said it. He's still young. Hopefully he learns and grows from it. But yeah, it wasn't a smart comment on his part.
Yeah, when you start to paint yourself against the fans or say the fans aren't important and it's just we can only depend on ourselves and you're kind of eliminating that element like we're not important, you're painting a bullseye right on your ass is what you're doing. And then fans are going to be even more critical of you because you went out there and made it a point to say, hey, we don't need you. We just look around the locker room. That's all we need. Yes, I get that. You make the plays. Booing or cheering doesn't really help you per se. But again, do you think that fan? I would ask him. I understand where you're coming from. Again, nobody wants to be booed. I get that. Nobody walks into my office and boos me. I deserve it sometimes. But do you think fans show up at the ballpark going, or at the stadium going? Giants fans walk in there going, man, I cannot wait to boo these guys tonight. I can't. Yeah. I'm going to pay all this money and sit there and hope that they lose so I can boo them. No fans going to. And like I said, actually, I started the comment with this, Chris. The Eagles fans booed the Eagles 2 series into that. This is the defending NFC champions. They were in the Super Bowl last year at home. 2 drives they punted, booed off the field in the second drive. And you think,
I'm gonna tell you what, Baddog. You know what? And I say it all the time in terms of character and the way it was handled. I have tremendous respect for Evan Ingram. If Kayvon Thibodeau thought what he got was bad, Evan Ingram got 10 times that. Never said a word because he knew the fans had a reason to boo. And it's just a battle you're not going to win. And I think it's something that hopefully it's a learning lesson for Kayvon.
What the players need to say is, we suck.
And at the end of the day, if he goes out there and has a great game, we're going to be cheering for him. So go out there, produce. You haven't done anything yet. You deserve to be booed.
Give us a reason to cheer. We're going to cheer. Give us a reason to boo. We're going to boo. That is what a fan does. A fan does, well, that's all right. 33-0. Come on, guys. I got faith. No.
Yeah.
That ain't how it works. If you're up 33-0, they ain't going to go, Boo! How can we not 40-0? Well, some of these fans might actually. They didn't like the way we beat Arizona, so maybe some fans would do that. But very few.
Yeah.
Very few. You wouldn't hear them. Okay. Matthew, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Cowboys fan. So, of course, he says Chris Sims is making the comparison. I don't care who's making the comparison. He's been in the league 2 years. I heard this comparison with J.J. Watt. Oh, J.J. Watt. Whatever happened to J.J. Watt? And J.J. Watt won Defensive Player of the Year 3 times. Micah Parsons hasn't won that thing once. So Lawrence Taylor won it his first 2 years in the league. And then won it again.
Micah Parsons is great, but it's just silly to compare him to literally the greatest defensive player in the history of the NFL.
Can we at least compare him to, like I said, guys like Derek Thomas?
He's not even in the greatest, at least as of now. I think he clearly has the potential to be, but he's not even, in my opinion, he's not even the greatest defensive player currently in the NFL. So to compare him to the greatest defensive player in the history of the NFL, it's just silly. It's just dumb. Like Justin Jefferson, should we be comparing him to Jerry Rice?
Right.
Exactly. And Justin Jefferson is the greatest start to a career of any wide receiver in the history of the NFL. Should we compare him to Jerry Rice? No, it's stupid. Same thing here.
What I'll say about Chris Sims is he needs clicks, and what better way to get it? I'm gonna say that Micah, because Chris Sims is Phil Sims' son. Obviously, Phil Sims is a beloved Giant. Technically won a couple Super Bowls, but only started one of them. But he's borderline Hall of Famer. Probably should be a Hall of Famer. His number's retired. He's a Ring of Honor, legendary Giant. So of course, Giants fans pay attention to his kid. So what are they going to do when they see that? Whether they like it or they don't, they're going to click on it because they're going to say, bullshit, Sims, he's not. That's a media thing, And I feel like that's what a YouTube thing is too. Everybody wants clicks. I don't blame them for that. But let's be real. How the hell are we comparing the two? You can't. Stop.
And Parsons, you could definitely make an argument Parsons is the best defensive player, right? I mean, he's in the top 3 or 4. He's great.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he's great.
Absolutely.
But he should not be in the discussion with LT.
But he's not the top 3 or 4 defensive players of all time. He's not Reggie White. He's not Lawrence Taylor. He's not Dick Butkus. He's not Ray Lewis. He's not even Junior Seau yet. Can we freaking let him play?
Deion Sanders. Let's respect some of the all-time greats, please.
Why don't you compare him to Cowboys like Hollywood Henderson? Get him there first.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of Cowboy fans don't even know who the hell that guy was. But, or how about Harvey Martin or Randy White? They were pretty damn good too. Is he as good as them? I know they play different positions, but my God, it's like, it's not just like the media does this where a guy is really good. Like I heard Julio Rodriguez of the Mariners, they're comparing him to Ken Griffey Jr. last year. I'm like, that's not even fair. It's not fair to Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
He is now, whatever. Craziness. Micah follow Fino Apolopoulos. I killed it, but thank you. I haven't seen you in a while. I remember the name. Forgot the pronunciation. Thank you for the super chat. Big risk and reward. It's the only chance tomorrow. I agree.
Yeah, I think it's a game where you have to roll the dice, and if you roll craps, you roll craps, but you got to take a shot. I mean, that's you have to take several shots in this game to have any chance.
Try to catch him off guard.
Yeah.
Just like I swear to God, the deep pass to Jalen Hyatt caught the Cardinals off guard. Start that half.
Yeah,
and it opened everything else up. Ice Mike, thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
He says, I see us losing Thursday, but to me, the Seahawks game will make or break our season. If we can come out of the stretch 2-2 and then 9-8 is realistic, but 1-3 could snowball the 6-11 disappointment. I agree. I agree too. Seattle's a big one. We have to get to. If we got out of the first 6 games, Mike, 3-3, I'd be thrilled.
Yeah, the Seattle game is a must-win in my opinion. Unless we beat the 49ers, then that all changes. But
then we should beat the Seahawks.
Yeah, but I'm going to pick us obviously to lose to the 49ers. I hope I'm wrong. So Ice Mike, I'm with you. I think that Seattle game, and I think it's a game we could certainly win. But we'll worry about that when we get there. But yeah, I think I have that circle. That's just as important as the Arizona game for me. If you drop to 1-3 and suddenly you're playing the Dolphins, we've seen the way they look so far. They've looked great. The Buffalo Bills, like you could be dropping to 1-5 real fast. So that Seattle game is massive. And then you have to find a way to get a split against those next two. So if we win tomorrow, take the pressure off, but we'll see.
Yeah, the schedule gets a little easier after that. I only played Philly twice, but it eases up a little bit after that because you're going to play the Jets without Aaron Rodgers. That makes it easier. The Patriots don't look very good right now. The Saints aren't a good team. Washington, I don't give a hell how much these people are like, oh, Phil Ball. I don't care. I'm not scared of Washington. Washington needs to beat up. You know, like when we go to Philadelphia going, we got to beat, like the Eagles fans, the Cowboys fans aren't scared of us. They're like, show us you can beat us. Feel the same way about Washington. I always laugh at the Washington fans that talk shit about Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is 5-1-1 in his career against Washington, and the only loss is because they called offsides and Dexter Lawrence, who wasn't even offsides. He should be 6-0-1 against.
It's true.
You know, I mean,
you're not lying. You're not lying.
Come on. Commanders fans getting a little out of control. You're getting, as the kids would say, you're out of pocket. I think I used that right. Did I use that right?
I like that. Yeah, I think you did. I don't know, but I think you did.
It's always funny when the old man tries to use today's slang. I always get a kick out of it myself when I bring that up. But I think I used that correctly. I think I used
it. Sounded right. It sounded right.
Sounded good anyway. That's right. Jay, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, my friend. Says, just remember, Brock Purdy is not the best deep ball player, so we need to blitz. Yeah. Take chances on both sides of the ball, Jay.
We're going to give up big plays tomorrow. So, yes, I agree. You got to take chances and hope to create some turnovers.
Yep. Yep. I agree. I completely agree about that. Pinworm, thank you for the super chat. Little kitty hanging out there. He says, I'm concerned about number 5. The Sights and Sounds videos shows him very disinterested. Yeah, I saw that too. I didn't watch that, but I saw that he was just kind of whatever. Listen, man, I'm not reading too much into this. The thing is, with Kayvon, I mean, you know, he talked about the fans booing, right? Well, I mean, like I said, they're human. When they're down 40-0, they're going to look disinterested and disheartened. That you're a professional athlete, you just got embarrassed, or you're down 20-0. They probably are going to look like that. But at least they picked it up in the second half and they got going. Okay, yeah. Now, I talked about this before. Stats are not everything. Okay, so Kayvon Thibodeau having 4.5 sacks this year. Like, yeah, but there was a lot of games where he really made a difference. And it was noticeable, even when he wasn't getting sacks or tackles, you could see him being a disruptor. Haven't seen that from him yet. So far.
That to me is what's the most he's been the most disappointing player on this football team this year so far, for me. Obviously, we all said Evan Neal's the key, and he still didn't look great last week. He looked better against the worst defense. But to me, Kayvon was a guy, like you said, in his rookie year, you saw glimpses of greatness. You saw, potential for him to be an upper echelon pass rusher. And for him to come out and completely lay a dud the first 2 weeks, it's only 2 weeks. We got 15 more to go. So I'm not panicking yet, but it's been underwhelming. It's been disappointing for a guy that I think most of us expected to have a big leap in year 2. So hopefully he gets it together because we're going to need him. If this team's going to the playoffs, we're going to need Kayvon to have a big year because
without question, he's really, kind of the, I don't want to say the leader of the defense, but I think he's the playmaker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's that guy. He needs to be that. He doesn't need to be Micah Parsons. Okay. He's not going to be Micah Parsons, to be honest. He's not going to
No.
But he needs to be a guy that can come off the edge and get to the quarterback and beat his man one-on-one. And at least force the quarterback out of the pocket or to make an errant throw or something. He needs to be that guy. Okereke is kind of the leader. He's the quarterback of the defense. Leo and Dex, they do what they do up front. They got to push that pile back a little bit. But Kayvon's they're not playmakers. Like Kayvon showed the ability to be a playmaker a lot last year in crunch time. So you just got to see it from him again. I'm not sitting here and saying the guy's a bust. He hasn't even played 17 games yet in his career. Maybe he just played 17 games. I forgot how many games he missed last year. I think he missed 2 at the beginning of the year. I don't remember he missed 1 down.
Yeah, I think he missed 2. I think you're right. I think he missed 2. He might. Well, he probably didn't play the last game of the year, so he probably played 14.
So he hasn't even played a full slate of games yet. So I'm not giving up on him. He's too talented. But he's just he's got to take the good with the bad. He gets a game where he has 3 sacks. Fans are going to be cheering their ass off for the guy. But if he's getting pushed around and he's not making an impact, they're going to let him know, listen, man, you're the number 5 overall pick, baby. We expect a lot out of you.
Yeah.
Listen, look at it this way, Kayvon, right? Reggie Jackson said it best. They don't boo nobodies. Okay? If they didn't care, if the fans didn't care about you, didn't know who you were, didn't expect a lot of you, if they thought you were a nobody, they wouldn't make a noise. It's when, as a professional athlete, it's when you don't hear noise. You should worry. Because boos, although you don't want to be booed, it means they know, they expect more of you because they know you're good, because they know you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way it goes. Do you think anybody's booing Micah McFadden? If he does, I'm not saying, you know what I mean? Like, Micah McFadden's not Kayvon Thibodeau or Carter Coughlin. You think Carter Coughlin's getting booed, being the, Mr. Irrelevant as opposed to the number 5 overall pick? No. Because fans are like, hey, Carter Coughlin gave us more than we expected. The guy was picked last in the draft. We don't expect, but with a number 5 overall pick, they expect you to be an impact player. That's why you got the Giants also expect it.
Yeah. Should.
I don't know, man. Anthony, thank you for the super chat. He says, I just don't want to go home with more injured. The outcome this early isn't important. Well, I think they're all important.
Yeah.
They all count the same. But, yeah, I mean, I don't want anybody.
I get what he's saying. It's a game that he knew when the schedule came out. We're probably not winning this game. We're banged up as is. I get what he's saying. But, yeah, every game's important. And every year you win a game you don't expect. Obviously, this would be incredibly unexpected. But we're going to need to steal a game or two this year if we're going to make the playoffs. May not be this one, but we're going to have to steal a game or two if we're going to make the playoffs. We play a really tough schedule. So every game matters. And I think even though I'm not predicting us to win, I'd be stunned if we won. I think this is a game that's still important because I think it's a game where I think it's one of the rare games on the schedule where you could look at it if the Giants play a really good game and they play up to their abilities, even based off the guys that are not playing in this game, and at least keep this somewhat competitive. I think it's something that could instill more confidence into this football team going into the Seattle game. So I think it is important in the sense that you can't go out there and get beat like you did week 1 against Dallas. You can't lose 40-0. Like, this has to be a somewhat competitive game, in my opinion, to be able to continue the momentum that you built in the second half of that Arizona game. So I do think it's an important game. I think it's a very important game, but I get where Anthony's coming from. In terms of winning the game, he doesn't expect to. Let's make sure our guys are healthy going into week 4. I get it, but I do think that there could be a lot of positive outcomes from this game, even if we end up losing it.
Listen, the Giants have had a couple games in their Super Bowl years that they lost.
Yeah.
But it ended up building momentum. 2017, last game against the Patriots, we had nothing to play for, and we were ahead 35-22 in that game. We ended up losing 38-35. And then we lost by the same score in 2011 against the undefeated Packers. But those type of games let you know, hey, we may have lost this game, but we, gave them everything they wanted and more. We can play with these guys. We're good enough to play with the 49ers. That means we're good enough to beat anybody in this league.
Yeah.
So it does help. You don't want to get demolished 38-0. And honestly, you can't just sit there and go, well, the outcome's not important. So the only way to avoid injury is by resting your players because you never know. You never know. Like Barkley's thing was a freak thing. It's just the way he got tackled. That can happen at any time.
Thankfully, that wasn't too serious. My guess
is low ankle sprain, which is a good thing.
I think he'll definitely miss the Seattle game. I think it was Dable this week kind of playing, gamesmanship this week when he said that he may be able to play this week. We all knew that wasn't going to happen. Yeah, I think he probably won't play against Seattle, and I think there's probably a decent chance he'll play the week after that.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, Seattle, we'll see how he heals. It's 11 games in between, or 11 days. I mean, we don't play on Monday, so we don't play until October 2nd. So there's almost 2 weeks. It's almost like a bye, like you said, a mini bye in there. So we'll see. But I wouldn't push him if he's not.
No.
You want him to be healthy.
Yeah.
Because to Anthony's point, that is early in the year. Like, you don't want to force him back and then have him miss 6 weeks. So you say, okay, let's let him rest a couple weeks here, even if we feel like he's ready for Seattle. How about we just rest him to make sure he's 100%? That way we have him the rest of the season, as opposed to, he's not 100%. He's not playing the way he would if he's 100%. He's favoring the ankle, and then he ends up getting hurt and worse.
Yeah. So
that I can agree with there. Cliffside, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. And bring it up here. There we go. How do you think Wink hasn't blitzed as much? I'll answer this real quick, and then I'll let you get your thoughts.
Yeah.
even though our rookie corners have played really well, the rookie corners, I don't know how much Wink trusts the rookie corners early on. Against Dallas, I get it. We were way behind anyway, and you're going against CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks, a little bit more difficult. Against Arizona, he did dial up blitzes in the second half, and they got. That's my guess, though.
Yeah, I'm curious actually. I'm curious to see what our blitz frequency's been this year. I know you could look it up on Pro Football Reference, so I'm looking it up right now. But I mean, I don't know what the totals are. I'm going to look at them now. But if I had to guess, if it is low, it's exactly what you said. It makes sense. I mean, plus I don't think the game conditions have cooled. I mean, like the Dallas game, for example, they got so far ahead that we knew that Dak didn't throw a whole lot, so we didn't have much of an opportunity to blitz. He only threw for like 149 yards because they had short field position the entire game. I do think he blitzed a decent amount last week, though. I'm going to look this up. I'm curious myself, but yeah, the most obvious thing to me, other than the game conditions, is the rookie corners. Like you said, you can't be overly aggressive when you're starting a 6th round, rookie corner with Trey Hawkins and obviously Deontay Banks on the other side. So, I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. And again, I don't know the numbers. I do know that he brought it up in the second half. I felt like we blitzed more. And maybe he wanted to, maybe he just wanted to see if they could get pressure with their front 4 guys.
Giants, I just looked it up, Baddog. Right now, the Giants are 3rd in the NFL in blitz frequency. They're blitzing 42% of the time. So they're still blitzing. Yeah, they're actually blitzing more than they did last year. It's only a 2-game sample size. Last year, I think they led the league and they blitzed 40% of the time. You know what's insane? The Giants have blitzed 42.1% of the time. They have 2 hurries, 0 sacks, 2 hurries. They're averaging a hurry a game, let alone a sack. So
Daniel Jones got hurried twice on the same play.
Yeah, they are blitzing a ton. It's just that they're not getting pressure, but they are blitzing.
Blitzes aren't getting there, obviously.
Yeah.
Sway, my man. Love the way you're thinking. Thank you for the super chat. Thursday. AGT. Let's fucking go, G, man. I can't wait for tomorrow. Me neither.
Let's go.
Me neither.
Let's go.
88 Riggy. What's going on, buddy? Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He says, no Saquon. Why not give the rookie Gray a shot? He may get some opportunities. I'll be curious to see how they rotate the running backs.
He's going to I think he will get some carries tomorrow. I'd be surprised if he didn't.
He is taking a snap all season, catch him off guard, try to establish a running game early. Them assuming we're going to throw. What do you guys think? And Gray, he can catch out of the backfield too. The thing that worries you, if you watched him in preseason, bad blocker. And you're going to want your running back to pick up a blitz. He did not do a good job at that. So that would worry me a little bit. But I would expect him to get some snaps.
I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if he doesn't get some snaps. I think Gray will be involved tomorrow. Breida will obviously be the guy that gets the most. But I don't think we're going to run a lot, if I'm being completely honest with you. I mean, I'm not saying we're going to completely abandon it. I think we're going to try to establish the run. And Jones's legs will always be a factor. But I'm going to be honest. I don't see how we're going to be able to run consistently against this football team. Not to mention, this is a team that's put up over 30 points in both games they've played this year. The Giants are going to have to put up points in this game. I think they will be playing from behind for a large portion of it. So I think we're going to have to throw a lot. So I'd be surprised if we have more than maybe 17 or 18 carries with the running backs. I don't think it's going to be a game where we're able to pound the rock against arguably the best linebacker in football, arguably the best defensive line in football. It's going to be a game where Daniel Jones is just going to have to play literally like Pat Mahomes if we're going to win this game.
Great. Yeah. Let's get those likes up there, guys. It goes fun. 8:37 in the chat. Thank you so much for hanging out. Game day eve on a Wednesday, not the normal night. Chris and I do this, but I wanted to do it before the game, and I wanted to give you guys and girls your Fridays free to do whatever you wanted to do instead of tuning into us. This way you can go out and do whatever you do on Fridays, you young people that have lives. Me, I'll be going to sleep. I might do a victory. Who the hell knows? I don't know what I'm going to do. But hit that thumbs up, man. 292 likes. We need more than that. We definitely need more than that. Let's get those up there. Also, I want to plug this real quick. So I told you I have new merch, right? So I don't know how this is going to show up. So listen, man, we got the Daniel Jones jersey. Well, you can get a hoodie, you can get a shirt, and it comes in all different colors. But there it is. There is the new Daniel Jones. Let me get rid of this thing real quick. Where's my
dropping dimes?
Yeah, that's right. Danny dropping dimes. Where the hell did this go? Why can't I get rid of this? Where is this thing? Oh, there we go. Hold on a second. Here's where you can see the whole thing of a bobber. If I can find, there we go. There you go. Danny dropping dimes. There it is. Get your Danny dropping dimes. Get your hoodie. Get you a blue, a black, a white shirt, whatever the hell you want. You can get it right there. It's at the Print Champs. It's under Bad Dog. And like I said, I got more merch coming. I got a good one that I really like that we're working on. But yeah, man, I mean, check that out. You got Daniel Jones over there. You can't see my pointer. And you got Jalen Hyatt on the other side. It's perfect, right? Because he was dropping dimes to
I like it. I like it. Hyatt in the
there
corner.
You go.
Like
get you a little dime shirt. Damn, we need Danny to drop a lot of dimes in this game, without question. But there you go. So some new merch. It's been a long time since I dropped some new merch. So working on more.
Danny dropping dimes.
Danny dropping dimes. But you can get it right there. That little link, the Print Champs. My little shop. There was also one in there which I didn't put up. It's for Tiki for HOF, baby, because Tiki should be a Hall of Famer.
He should be.
Without question. But that's in there too. We're working on making hats for that. Tommy, thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate it. He says that Dable painted himself into a corner and now has to keep DJ in the game if we're down 40. Taking DJ out admits he was wrong week 1. I don't think so. I think he was just trying to say that he wanted to get some momentum and score some points. He was wrong. He knows he was wrong. He was making an excuse. Daniel Jones didn't belong in that game. But I think the fact now that they've scored and they've won and he had a big game, there would be no reason because he wouldn't need to say, we just needed to get some momentum going there. Because
I think what Dable was completely wrong. I think most Giants fans agree with that. But I think what he said was legitimately how he felt in the moment. It was a dumb decision because he pulled all of his starters. I would have understood it more if he left all the starters in. But I think it was such a bad game. He was trying to build some kind of positive momentum for Jones going into week 2. But I don't think that prohibits him from pulling Jones in this game. No, I do not. If it gets out of hand, but hopefully it doesn't get to that point. Hopefully it's a competitive game.
That's all we can hope for. Competitive game. Just be competitive. Play with this club. You know what I mean? And we'll see. But yeah, I don't think he'll do that again. I honestly don't think he'll do that again. Rev Rebel, thank you for super chat. I got y'all going 5-5 after the next Cowboys game. You mean going to the? I mean, I could see that. Listen, I had us 9-8, 10-7. I think I actually picked us to go 10-7 because I thought we'd actually beat you guys once this year.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like that's going to happen unless some miraculous turnaround happens the next time we play you. But it's kind of where I thought we'd be. And we even talked about, before the season started, Chris and I have said the Giants could play better this year and still end up with a worse record because of the.
If we're 5-5, and I hope he's right, after that Cowboys game, we would stand a very good chance to make the playoffs because then you look at Washington. It's a game that you at least feel like you have a chance to win. New England home, Green Bay home. You got to figure reasonable to think you could take 2 out of 3 there, especially with Green Bay off a bye. That would get you to 7 wins, and then you have the Rams and the Saints. I mean, there's a clear path to 9 wins if we could get to 5-5 after the Dallas game. But it's one game at a time. But I would sign up for that right now. If you ask me, 5-5 after 10 weeks, I would sign up for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Without question, sign up for that. Fabian, man, thank you for being a member for 20 months. I appreciate it. Let's just hope everything lines up for us. It's going to have to. It's going to have to, without question. Everything is going to. The stars are going to have to line for us. Everything is going to have to be great, without question. And I'm going to drop my other sponsor, which, as you see above, Body Armor Sport Water. You see, like I said, everybody's like, "Oh, Bad Dog, you drink too much water. You drink too much water. You drink too much soda. But don't." I always have it nearby. I always have soda nearby. But I've been drinking a lot more water because Body Armor Sport Water, man, alkaline with a pH 9+ and proprietary electrolyte formula. Easy for me to say. With a wide mouth for easier hydration. I bring these to the gym all the time, too. Body Armor Sport Water is built for the all-day hydration for the athlete and all of us. Athlete and all of you, or if you're just thirsty, it's also good for that, too. You don't need to be an athlete, but, if you are running or lifting or whatever and you're thirsty, it's good stuff to keep you hydrated. You want to cramp. Anybody that's ever had a freaking Charlie horse knows that shit hurts. So stay hydrated, especially if you take creatine like I do. You want to make sure that you stay hydrated. Let's get yourself some Body Armor Sport Water. Watch the game, and hopefully you don't need to drink anything stronger at the end of it because, or
hopefully not.
You've been there. Gavino Primo, thank you for the super chat. We aren't saying Mike is as good as LT. Good. That's all you need to say then. Just that he plays like him. Similar body type, speed, strength. Great content, guys. I don't know if he plays like him, but I will say this: similar body type, speed, strength. It's exactly what I said in the video where I said I wanted Micah Parsons to be a Giant. I said, and I even say that. I even said right in the video, you can watch it. I say, I'm not saying he's Lawrence Taylor, but he's 6'3", 248, whatever. And I do
that's fine. That's fine. If you want to say he's built physically like him, his play style reminds you of him, that's reasonable.
Right.
But when people start comparing him to LT, that's where it gets ridiculous. But yeah, like you could say that about a lot of players. Like there's players in the NFL that remind me, like, I don't know, maybe Saquon Barkley reminds me of an all-time great running back, but he's not at that level yet. Or, I just off the top, man, name a wide Odell Beckham. You could have said when Odell Beckham was in his prime, he reminded you of Jerry Rice. But
Randy Moss,
whatever it may be,
right.
but he wasn't on their level yet. Yeah.
Yeah, that exactly. So Gavino, you said it right.
Yeah.
But most Cowboy fans are not, because it's just, you know why? Because this is just what Cowboys fans do. They don't. A lot of them don't understand the history of football. They're Johnny-come-lately fans. And I know this. I've experienced this, man. I've been around for a long time. And I know it on YouTube, okay, because I've been on YouTube a long time. When the Cowboys are bad, the Cowboy fans disappeared. And then when they were good, they all come soaring back. And it happens where I live. I've seen this for years. In the 1980s, and the Cowboys are no good at the end of the 80s, you would never know that franchise even existed. Now, there was no internet. But you would never see anybody, a Cowboys fan, around where I live. But when they started winning those Super Bowls in the 90s, everybody was a Cowboys fan. Now, I live right on the Vermont border pretty much. Massachusetts is not far from me. You would think when the Patriots started winning all those championships that I would see an influx of Patriots fans. Never saw any additional Patriots fans, which tells me those are not fair weather bandwagon fans. They didn't all of a sudden – Red Sox fans ended up over here out of nowhere. That happened.
Yeah.
Not Patriots, but the Cowboys do that. So guys like you, Gavino, understand the history, and the way you worded it is absolutely correct. Like Chris said, you want to compare it. Say, listen, he reminds me of a young Lawrence. If you want to say he reminds me of a young Lawrence Taylor,
that's reasonable.
That's reasonable. Yeah. But to say he is, or he's better, or he's no.
Yeah.
He's not. There is none. He is none. OMB, Kev, thank you for a super chat. Chris gets dissed in his live podcast. It happens. I don't know what to tell you.
I really don't. I don't care.
You know.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You can't please everybody. It is what it is. You know, it happens. And people diss me. Is that what it said? No diss. OMB, Kev's got to be my age, because that's my old slang. Like I said, I think my favorite line in my Cowboys video when I talk about how much I hate the Cowboys was that the last time the Cowboys won a championship, the words I used were dope. Like that was the one. that was actually in vogue, was to say dope. That was the slang. But now I like that when the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, Stone Cold was still the ringmaster. So I like that. Bob, thank you for the super chat. Speaking of Stone Cold,
Give me a hell yeah.
Thank you so much. I think you missed my chat. I was saying I don't want to hear about Hyatt being a rookie. He needs to either start tomorrow or get significant playing time. Did I miss you, Bob? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
I agree. With Bob, by the way.
I didn't see it, Bob.
Whether he starts or not, I agree. He needs significant playing time. I think he's at least our. I don't want to use the term best yet, but he's our most feared wide receiver. Out of all our wide receivers, he's the guy that's most capable of making a big play. And in a game like this tomorrow where you need as many big plays as you could get, I agree with you. And speaking of the big plays, last year we only had 17, Baddog. 17 20-yard passing plays all of last year.
Yeah.
I think we had 4 or 5 in that game alone.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure, because we had the 2 to Hyatt. I think Waller had one for over 20, and I think there was one other. I think we had 4. Hodgins, yeah. We had at least 4, and we had
Payne had to have one that was over 20.
He might have. I don't remember. He might have. I don't remember.
I mean, Daniel Jones threw for 321 yards on 26 completions.
Yeah.
So completion average, it's about what? 13?
It's high.
Right?
Yeah.
A little less than 13 at completion. So
And they were legitimate 20-yard completions. They weren't like 5-yard catches where the guy ran for 15 yards. They were balls down the field.
I think that's something you and I talked about at the beginning of the year was that, don't expect the Giants to go back and chuck it 50 times, but you're going to see bigger chunk plays this year.
Yeah.
And you're right though, Bob. We have to utilize speed, right? If Hyatt's covered, he's covered, but you have to at least have that threat of we got to pay attention to this kid. And like I said, maybe putting that speed on the outside, you put Paris Campbell in the slot, you put Hyatt out here, you put Hodgins there, whatever it is. I don't know if you want to go 4 wide against the Niners, but maybe you do. Maybe you try to spread them out. And you just, maybe you put Hodgins outside, you put Campbell in the slot, you put Slayton in the slot, you put Hyatt outside, and you maybe let Waller work underneath, but however the hell you want to do it. Maybe you line up Waller wide and you put those burners on the outside and you open it up for Waller underneath. But the Giants got to do different things in this game. They're going to have to be very creative with the play calling, and they're going to have to gamble. They have to gamble. You got nothing to lose. If you're playing with the house's money, you have an opportunity to either break even, which would be a loss because everybody expects them to lose, or you have a chance to walk out with a lot more money if you hit a couple of long shots. So we just got to do whatever we can do. It ain't going to be easy.
No, definitely not.
Nothing's easy for us anyway. Arizona wasn't easy either. We just got to play like we did in the second half. We can do that. We can compete with these guys.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say we can beat them, but we can definitely compete. But we have to. That second half of that Giants second half, that's a team that needs to go to San Francisco. If they show up at San Francisco the way they showed up at Arizona, we'll be down 30-0, and we're going to lose 40-0. We ain't coming back against them. That's not the Cardinals. Jimmy, thank you, my friend. I think we're getting close to the point of adding Ojulari to the list of gentlemen draft busts.
Because of injury, yeah. Only because of injury, because I think the talent is clearly there. But because of injury, yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. No question. I've just gotten to the point, Jimmy, and I love Azeez Ojulari, but I got to the point where I don't depend on him. I don't expect him to play, and I just don't expect him to be there. If he's there, he's great. If he's not, I don't expect him. Zeke is going to talk about the next thing I was going to say, because I think that Isaiah Simmons is going to get a lot more snaps in this game.
He has to. We're banged up. I mean, he should. He has to. He should. With Ojulari out, you need pass rushers.
Yeah. Zeke. My friend, he says, "What up, guys? Chris, cheer up. Simmons needs more than 20% of the snaps. Speed and quickness is crazy. Number 41 is not the guy." Wink.
I'm cheered up off of last week. I was ecstatic off last week. Off week 1, I think I was like most Giant fans. I didn't want to think about this team. I needed my 4 or 5 days of peace of not thinking about Giants football. It was a gut punch, but I'm excited. And I'm not going to get bent out of shape if we lose tomorrow. I know what we're going up against, and I know what we don't have going into this game. I just want this team to show some fight. But I know what we're going up against. It's a really tough game. Our toughest game on the schedule, as far as I'm concerned, especially when you factor in the guys that are not playing in the game.
It's a short week.
It's a short week. Thursday night football. Like, this is the game, even more so above the Eagles games, because the Eagles games, at least as of now, I'm going to assume we're going to have Thomas and Barkley. It will not be a short week. This is our toughest game on our schedule this year. So, realistically speaking, yeah, I don't think we're going to win. But I just hope that they put up a fight. And like you said, give Daniel Jones a chance if he could play out of his mind, a chance to win this football game.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can ask.
Yeah.
Give Daniel Jones an opportunity and let the chips fall where they may. But I have a feeling the Niners have to go into this game like a heavyweight fight. We got to knock these guys out early, like Dallas did. Just got to knock them out early, and they'll go down. Although Arizona gave us a better shot trying to knock us out early, and the Giants fought back. But if the Niners allow the Giants to hang around, the Giants start to feel like they can win a game. That's when you do steal a game. So if the Niners screw up or they overlook the Giants or they come out flat or whatever happens and they find themselves in a fight going into the fourth quarter, that's when the underdog starts to believe, hey, we can take these guys.
Well, the pressure's all on the 49ers, obviously, right, going into this game. But, hey, yes, I agree. It's kind of like a boxing match where if the guy, the heavy underdog is able to keep the match close going into the championship rounds around 10, 11, 12, all of a sudden all the pressure's on the favorite. So, yeah, I mean, get to the fourth quarter close and see what happens.
Yep. Jason, thank you for the super chat. He says, y'all can actually score points and win a game. Yeah, we can. Hasn't been easy, but we can do that.
I'm curious. I should have looked that up. The last time the Giants scored 30 points and a half, it has to be years, like years. I'm going to look it up now. I'm curious. The last game that I could think of where we might have done it was the Saints game with Eli.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking, where we scored 49.
Yeah.
One of those was a defensive touchdown. I remember that, but still, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, that's the last one I could think of. 2016, our offense was putrid. 17 putrid. 18, yeah. Let me look at the Saints game real quick. Did we score 30 and a half in that game? We did not. We scored 28. So we didn't even score 30 and a half in that game. I don't know. I'm curious. I wonder the last time we did that. It has to be a really long time where we put up over 30 points and a half.
I know they put up 31 points against Green Bay in the second half in a 55-24 win in 86 last game of the season. I know we did.
Yeah.
I can't think about maybe the NFC Championship game in 2000. Weren't we up like 30
Vikings? Yeah. Let me see. I'm curious. Yeah, probably because we
up 34-0 at the half.
Yeah, I think you're right. But you're going back 23 years at this point.
Yeah, that's got to be it. That's the last time I thought about. We had a really, really, really good offense. 2008, we had a beat 'em up offense. It wasn't a high flying offense.
Yeah.
I gotta that game. That game, we scored 34 in the first half, I think.
Yeah. If it's happened, it hasn't happened often. That was rare. I don't care who you're going up against. To put up 31 points and a half, pretty incredible. And I don't remember. Did we even start with the ball, or did Arizona? I can't even remember. We did because the first play was to Hyatt. First play was to Hyatt. Yeah.
No, that was in the second half. They started with the ball.
Well, that's what I mean in the second half.
Second half, right.
Yeah,
yes.
when we put up the 31 points, yeah.
The big thank you so much. He says, need a Baddog Chris t-shirt. YouTube's best. It would be cool to have one, but I don't think people would want our faces on it. But it's definitely something I could work on. It's just like my little thumbnail that I use for us. I could just have Chris and the Baddog Talking Giants.
Or you just have our
Actually, not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I might have to look into that.
We could promote it during the live streams.
Right. It might
we'll split the profits, whatever.
Right.
It's a good idea. Yeah.
It might be a bad idea. People can then, hey man, listen, people wear the shirt, like, who's that? These two Italian guys on YouTube. One's very even keel and whatever. The other one's just off the wall, crazy. They feed off each other really well, and it's fantastic. So
I like it.
It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea, Moo. Not a bad idea. Hot Knicks. He been a member for 27 months. Says, can we get a damn sec? Where's KT and Aziz? Well, Aziz is hurt, and KT on vacation.
I'm curious. The last time, he's talking about. When's the last time the Giants did not have a sack in their first two games? Maybe it's been common. I don't know, but no sacks in our first two games and no turnovers. It's insane. It's
not.
That has to change real fast.
It's not good. It's not good. Not good at all. Not good at all. Chris, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. That was a comeback last week. We needed it. Good luck tomorrow. Thank you. We'll need it again.
We'll need that big time, Chris. But yeah, listen, super pumped up after that. Definitely showed some fight, and hopefully that's something to build off of. And hopefully we don't get all the air taken out of the tires tomorrow because we know it's going to be tough. But I do expect this team to fight tomorrow, though. I don't think they're just going to lay down. I do think they'll fight.
The NFL hates the Arizona Cardinals. Put them against 3 NFC East teams to start the year.
Yeah.
Hate them. They hate the Cardinals. Like, we'll get you, Caleb.
And Arizona, you could make an argument, should be 2-0.
Yeah. They really could be. Bad teams find ways to lose football games, though.
Yep. That's a fact.
Good teams find ways to win them. The Eagles have looked less than impressive. They're 2-0. It don't matter how the hell they got there. It matters that you win. That's it. Yep. So all that matters is winning. That's why when Giants fans are like, oh, that sucked. This team's no good. This team, maybe they're not any good. But can't you just enjoy the fact that they won a game, that they were down 20-0? Can't you just enjoy the fact that they showed some life and some resiliency and got up off the deck and fought back and had a historical comeback? I don't know why people can't just be happy that they won. At the end of the day, that's what you play the game for.
Yeah.
You don't play it. You don't play it to lose, and you know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand some people. Well, thank you. Danny Dimes, more like Danny Franchise. They call him the Dan Shies. All these negative Giants fans can go work for another team. I think I told somebody that on Twitter. I was like, go work for the Jets, dude. Like, go work for the Jets. Like,
listen, my opinion on Jones is at this point is not only is he not the problem. Like, I think that was the argument we had in years past. He's not the problem. There's other things that are the major problem of this team. Not only is he not the problem, in my opinion, anymore, he's part of the solution. It's just that a lot of people can't see it because of all the other deficiencies on this roster. But he's part of the solution. I firmly believe when this team gets good, and we're not good yet, or we're not as good as we want to be yet, at least. We're not Super Bowl contending good. We're not Dallas Cowboys level good, Eagles level good, 49ers level good. When we get there, Daniel Jones is going to be on this football team. He's part of the solution. He's not only not the problem, he's part of the solution. But we need to continue to build a better team around him.
Yes, I completely agree. And that's what I'm saying. Listen, if Daniel Jones plays bad, I will say he had a bad game. But I am done not believing he's the guy.
Yeah.
I'm done because I do believe he's good enough to be the guy.
Yeah.
He's got bad games. Eli had bad games. Eli was still the guy. And the fact that Daniel Jones has had now 6 game-winning drives in the last 2 seasons and could have had a 7th had Minnesota not kicked a 61-yarder to win the game at the end of regulation, it tells me when the chips are down, I believe. And that was something that I wanted to see for a long time was, can he do this when it matters most? And he's proven that he can. And he had 321 yards. All the people that were like, oh, he doesn't put up any numbers. He's dink and dunk 140 yards and a touchdown. Well, he had 380 total yards. He threw for over 300. He had 3 total touchdowns. And people still aren't happy. He still sucks, according to people. I don't know what the hell they want from him. Jesus. I mean, God. That's why I'm just like, I'm not arguing anymore. People are like Daniel Jones, I'm going to say, okay. I mean,
it's just not worth arguing anymore. It's not worth arguing.
Arguing. You have your opinion, I have mine. I don't agree with you, but cool. If that makes you happy, more power to you. It's all good, baby. We're all entitled to our own opinions.
Yeah,
that's how it goes. NY Giants 26. Thank you for the super chat. Is this injury prone?
Well, obvious. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Dude is always hurt. Just sucks. Some guys are.
Yeah.
Shane Zemnes was always hurt. Same thing. LA! Thank you for the super chat, the legendary. Says, what up with the rumor about signing Justin Pugh? So I worked out with the Giants. He did come in for a workout. I tweeted it out. I said, listen, I would love to have him here. He can never have enough depth on the offensive line. So I didn't hear anything about them signing him. I heard that they worked him out. But we've heard this rumor since the beginning of the year. And I think it will happen. Like I said, he's not going to start, but he may. Maybe they move him. Maybe they get rid of Glowinski, depending on what Bredesen's situation is, and they play McKeithen at left guard, and they play Pugh at right guard with Neal, Thomas, and JMS. I mean, that could be a pretty good line. And then you use Azudu and as depth and Bredesen as depth when he comes back, or Pugh, or however they want to work it. But with the Giants having some injuries on the offensive line, he said he wants to play here. He's not going to cost a lot of money. He's a veteran. He's been there. He's played here. I don't have no issue with it.
I'm completely for it. Is he a guy that I expect to start? No. But he's a guy that he could play multiple positions. He has experience at the guard, the tackle. I'm completely for it. A veteran guy that could come in here and at least provide some depth. Why not? Do I think he's going to save the offensive line? No, of course not. But he's another veteran body that's had some experience and some success in this league. So we need all the help we can get on the line. So I'm for it.
Without question. I'll take him back in a heartbeat. DMG NWK. Thank you for your first ever super chat, brother. Appreciate you.
Hell yeah.
He says, Spartans, if we play as well as we did in the second half, we're the best team in the NFL, and we'll beat the Niners. I love it. I hope we can play like that. Open up the playbook like we did. Let's compete. I agree with that. Open it up all the way and add some pages to it before the game and just do some crazy things. You have to. When you're an underdog, listen, I always get mad. I remember the 2008 game when the Giants ran some against the Eagles when they lost that playoff game and they were running trick plays. And I'm like, I hate that because that tells me you don't believe you're as good as the team you're facing.
Yeah.
Teams of lesser talent they have to pull out all the stops. I don't care. You can be the most optimistic, staunch Giants fan in the world. You can't honestly sit there and look at the two rosters and go, we match up well with the 49ers. Okay.
Yeah.
Not many teams do. This team is, like I said, in my opinion, on paper, the best 53-man roster any team puts out. That includes the Eagles, it includes the Cowboys, it includes the Chiefs.
They are.
From top to bottom, everything they do. The only question I have, and I know he's shown the ability to play, is Brock Purdy. That's my question. Is he really good, or is it just everybody around him? Like I would trust Jalen Hurts over him. I would trust Josh Allen over him. Like I would trust the Pat Mahomes, obviously. But top to bottom, I mean, Brock Purdy can play. He can sling it. But I wonder if he gets some pressure on him, I can actually knock him down a few times, what he can be. We saw what the Eagles did to him last year. So
I think Purdy's good. He's better than I thought he was. I'm not saying he's great, but I think he's good. But obviously, he's got an incredible supporting cast around him. But we talk about the offense, and yes, Danny Jones has to play out of his mind. They're going to have to create some turnovers against Purdy if they're going to have any chance in this game as well. Like, both sides of the ball have to play lights out. Do I think it's possible? Yeah. If our defensive line gets some freaking pressure, yeah, I think it's possible to create some turnovers. But we got to see the pressure before I believe it, because the 49ers offensive line might be the best offensive line we've played yet, and the Cowboys have a good one. So it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough.
yeah,
but I do think there's opportunities to be had in terms of big plays in the pass game for the Giants in this game. I wouldn't even call it a weakness, but the least strong part of the 49ers defense is probably their secondary. So I do think there's some, if we could hold up blocks enough, I do think there'll be some opportunities for some big plays.
Test them early and often. And while you're doing that, man, hit that thumbs up. We got 800 people in here. We got 365 likes. We're not even halfway. Like, we can do this, man. We can get 400 likes. That I know we can do. So just click that thumbs up. It helps out the stream, especially the live streams. They help out the live streams huge. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll be here tomorrow night to call the Giants and 49er game, whether it be a massacre, whether it be competitive, whatever it's going to be. We'll be here with all the reactions and about 4,000 of our closest friends. More importantly, make sure you go into that description. You subscribe to this fellow over here, because we do this every week. If you're new to the channel, we do this show every week. We alternate channels. So make sure you subscribe to Chris. We do every game together as well. We alternate channels for that. So we come back October 2nd, Monday night against the Seahawks. That'll be over on Chris's channel. And hopefully we're looking at 3-1. As unlikely as that is, it is still possible. As Chris Berman said, that's why they play the games.
That's why they play the games.
Let's see what the hell we can do. Like I said, just give us a chance.
By the way, is tomorrow's game, I know it's being streamed on Amazon. Is it? I would assume in the New York area it's going to be on network TV as well, right?
Amazon.
It's just Amazon. Wow. Okay.
Because it's a primetime game. They don't put primetime games on Fox.
I always thought in the New York area when it's on a streaming service, they play it on like,
let me see,
one of the network channels.
Let's see if they put it on like it's not Peacock.
It might be on like channel like 9 or 7. I don't know. I always feel like it's on. Nick Nation says it's on Fox.
It is?
That's what he said. I didn't look.
Oh, it's not on Fox tomorrow.
No.
Nope. I have news at 10.
Tal also says it's on Fox.
I have Mets and Phillies.
Maybe you don't have it on Fox, and maybe my area does.
That could be. I mean, I have Amazon Prime, so it doesn't really matter. So
yeah,
I'll be able to watch it anyway. But yeah, I don't have it on Fox. Nope, I have the Mets on Fox tomorrow, but I have Amazon Prime, so it doesn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
I'll set the Prime up then down here.
Yeah, Chris, thank you for the super chat. Jalen Hyatt showed flashes last game. Will Kafka give him more snaps in this game, or will he slowly increase his snaps as the season goes on? no reason not to play him, in my opinion. He's been out there. He's obviously showed that he can play. Get him out there, use his speed. There's no substitute for speed.
Yeah.
Give him a
No,
chance.
he needs to be heavily involved.
We need a big play guy. You don't want to get. You're not going to be able to have a 14-play touchdown drive against the Niners. I guess this is why I come out of something that I don't normally do, which is say just throw the ball around the field. That's not what I ever want the Giants to do. But the likelihood of you going 13 plays or 14 plays
Not
down
happening.
the Niners and scoring a touchdown is less likely than you hitting one bomb to Jalen Hyatt for 75 yards.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Or maybe, like I said, you get a pass interference call for 50 yards down the field. And it's, a gigantic penalty or something. But I definitely think he needs to play more. I definitely think the Giants need the threat of the big play in this game. Because you
just said, you hit it on the head. This is not a game. This is not a defense where you're going to be able – maybe you'll have one drive like that where you can manufacture a 13, 14-play drive. But to consistently expect that, it's not going to happen. Right. And that's why, this is a game where I say to myself, like we said at the top of the stream, if they go out tomorrow and they lose by 25, 30 points and they do so by throwing the ball 40 times, I'm going to be like, it is what it is. Like, you have to take a swing tomorrow and you have to take chances. That's the only way you're going to have a chance in this game tomorrow.
Yep, got to swing for the fences.
Yeah.
That's really it. You got to swing for the fences. But, my man, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
He says, Chris, I agree. Phil Simms is a Hall of Famer in my eyes. Go look at his stats. He and Kurt Warner's, they're very similar, yet Simms isn't in. Warner is. Unfair.
Phil Simms should be in the Hall of Fame.
Agreed. 199 touchdowns, 30,000 passing yards, 2 Super Bowls. I mean,
Phil Simms should be in the Hall of Fame. It's
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He should have. And again, he played in a different era than Kurt Warner. Phil Simms was one of the better quarterbacks in his era. Was he Joe Montana? No. Was he Dan Marino? No. Was he better than Danny White or Tommy Craig? Absolutely. Was he better than Jim McMahon? Absolutely. Was he better than Jay Schrader? Yes, he was. Was he better than Randall Cunningham? Yes, he was. He wasn't as exciting as Randall Cunningham, but he was better than Randall Cunningham. So look at the quarterbacks that played in that era. I think Simms is as good as a lot of them. Again, not your elite guys, but top 10.
Kurt Warner at his best, of course, was better than Phil Simms. He won the MVP award.
Right.
And he, but let's also be fair. Kurt Warner played in arguably the greatest offense supporting cast in the history of the NFL. Like, he played in the dome, on the turf, in an offensive scheme that we had never really seen in the NFL before. The greatest show on turf. And he had Marshall Faulk, who was perfect for that system. He had Isaac Bruce, and he had Torrey Holt. Like, I mean, Trent Green would have.
Don't forget about Azahar Hakeem. He was really
him too. So
they had fast as hell receiver and maybe the best running back of that time.
The best running back of that time, in my opinion, Marshall Faulk. And
he was.
Yeah, so I agree with him. I think Simms is just as deserving.
Hall of Famer. He should have been Hall of Famer. Don't know why he's not. Don't know why he's not. He was great. Great. Lucky I got to see Phil play. Cruise on! He says, you have people that think DJ gets a pass from the media because he's white. When have the media ever given DJ a pass? It's literally the opposite. I don't really read too much into whatever, black and white or whatever, but they don't. It's not just Daniel Jones. They did this to Eli. My favorite thing about Eli that I always say when people are like, Eli was overrated, I'm like, in order to be overrated, don't people have to say you're good? When the hell, besides Giants, has anybody ever given Eli credit? And I feel like we were talking about the quarterbacks, Cruz on. The key just fell out of my pocket. We were talking about the quarterback. Phil Simms, right? Won a Super Bowl MVP, part of another Super Bowl, was one of the best quarterbacks of his era. No respect. No respect. Not in the Hall of Fame, no respect. No, we talking about Phil Simms, blah, blah, blah. Eli, top 10 in every major passing category, and he retired 2-time Super Bowl MVP. Only a handful of quarterbacks have done that, and every quarterback that's won multiple Super Bowl MVPs is in the Hall of Fame. His numbers blow Troy Aikman's away. Troy Aikman played on probably one of the greatest teams in the history of football. Doesn't come close to what Eli Manning did. They shit all over Eli. And now here's Daniel Jones, who struggled his first few years, like Simms, like Eli, won a playoff game last year, had 5 game-winning touchdown drives, just had 300 yards of total offense in the second half and a big-time comeback, and they still don't give him credit. So no matter the era, it seems like the Giants quarterbacks have always been crapped on, and no matter what they do, they're always crapped on. I don't know if it's because these guys are New York and they expect more. Like, I don't know, because I only follow the Giants. I don't think Jets quarterbacks get the heat that the Giants quarterbacks do.
I don't think it's anything to do with black white. I know like this has been like a thing amongst a small portion of Giants fans, not most, where they call the Giants racist because they've never had a black. I don't think they are, not personally, at all. I just think situations transpired where they never drafted a black quarterback, and a lot of that had to do, at least in recent times. Of course, we all know back in the 70s and 80s that was a thing. That's obvious, right? But in today's NFL, Eli Manning was the quarterback for 15 years, and then Daniel Jones was the best quarterback in that draft when we were picking. So that's just the way it worked out. But I think the reason why Daniel Jones gets a lot of hate, I think he gets a lot of hate. I don't think he gets a pass from the media. And I think I'm talking about like national media, maybe not necessarily beat writers with the New York Giants. He gets mocked all the time. He gets mimicked all the time. People don't give him credit all the time. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he went to Duke and the fact that people are not willing to change their opinions on players. They're stubborn. They had the opinion of him when he came into the league that it was a horrible pick. They look at just the numbers. They don't take into effect all the variables, the fact that he's had 4 different offensive coordinators since he's been in the league, the fact that he's had constant turnover at the head coach, the fact he has had no weapons to throw to, and they just look at his wins and they say, oh, he's got 10 more losses than wins, and he tripped over his own feet against the Philadelphia Eagles. So
he lost 40-0 to the Cowboys.
I actually think he gets more hate nationally than he deserves, personally. I see 49ers fans in the chat saying that compare Purdy to Jones is stupid. No, I disagree. I think if you put Daniel Jones in the 49ers, he would be every bit as good as Brock Purdy.
He won a Super Bowl with that team.
Yeah, I really believe
that.
That.
Out of my mind. He won a Super Bowl in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Without question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give him that. He does. I'll be honest. Just give Daniel Jones an above-average offensive line with the talent that's there now and a healthy Barkley, obviously. Just give him the Eagles' offensive line.
Yeah.
Give him the Chiefs' offensive line. Give him the Lions. God, I was watching that Lions game and the Lions-Seahawks game, and I was like, I am so jealous of that Lions offensive line. Give him that. Give him one of those offensive lines with Hyatt, with Waller, with Hodgins, with Barkley. Giants are winning the division. I swear to God, he's good enough, but you got to give the damn guy time. You saw what he did because it was like, oh, it's Arizona. They suck, right? But he had time to throw.
Yeah.
It makes a difference. When Pat Mahomes didn't have time to throw, he's Pat Mahomes. He's throwing to Kadarius Toney. He loves to drop the passes. He's throwing to Richie James. Oh, geez. Well, the Giants fans know a little bit about Kadarius Toney and Richie James. That's what Daniel Jones is throwing to. And Pat Mahomes is throwing him. Pat Mahomes ain't throwing for 360 and 4 touchdowns. He's throwing for 220 and 2 touchdowns. He's putting up the same numbers Daniel Jones is. I'm not saying that Pat Mahomes is Daniel Jones, but it's just funny how the numbers seem to reflect the guys that he's throwing to.
It's facts.
I mean, you got to.
So you would think people would realize in the ultimate team sport, the team matters to production at the quarterback position.
That's my point. I just don't understand. I don't understand why people can't just be honest. And yeah, he sucked today. Man, he was great today. Why can't they? I don't understand why that's so difficult. But it is what it is. I'm not arguing. I have my opinion. People have their opinion. Everybody's entitled to it. I don't know what it's going to take for some people to. I'm not talking about fans. I'm talking about the media. I mentioned on Twitter. The Giants have to beat good teams. The Giants have to go out there and compete with the 49ers. They have to find ways to win games like this. I know that they're not supposed to win games like this. That's where he's going to get respect. You beat a team like the Niners. You start beating the teams in your division that aren't named the Commanders.
I agree. Ultimately, the way he's going to gain respect, and I don't necessarily think he's going to be able to do it until his team gets a bit better, but ultimately the way he's going to get respect league-wide is going to be beating the Eagles and the Cowboys, of course.
One more time and throw it up there again. If you guys haven't seen it, man, check out my new merch, baby. Let's go. Little Danny Dropping Dimes shirt. It's my new merch. It just dropped yesterday. So make sure you guys go there. I'll give you the link. You can go right here. There it is. You can go to the Print Champs, my shop, Bad Dog. There's also a Tiki Barber for Hall of Fame shirt in there. But, man, this shirt came out pretty freaking awesome. I was pretty happy with that. So make sure you get one of these Danny Dropping Dime shirts.
And absolutely, the shirt's great. But I see amazing guys say Jones already beat the Eagles and Cowboys. Get your facts straight. You're right. He beat the Cowboys without Dak Prescott when they had their third string quarterback in. And it's not a slight on Daniel Jones. And then he beat the Eagles, the year where Hurts was not very good yet. And they didn't have A.J. Brown on the team yet. I'm talking about these teams now. But, yeah, you're right. He beat them without Dak starting at quarterback. But that's why he hasn't gotten respect. He has not beaten the Eagles when they were a supreme team, and he has not beaten the Cowboys when they were at the top of their game yet. Beating the Cowboys when they've got – I don't even remember who the quarterback was in that game.
Andy Dalton.
It's not going to – that's not going to count in the eyes of the national media.
Correct. And beating the Eagles 10-7 in a game that Jalen Hurts threw 3 or 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
And again, there was no A.J. Brown, and Nelson Aguilar dropped a bunch of passes. Media ain't going to look at that as an overwhelming, great job. He destroyed Philadelphia. And, he hasn't beat Dak Prescott yet at all. So, you want to be literal about it? Okay, he beat them. Didn't matter at the end of the day. Did it matter? We ended up 6-10. He beat them both the same year, by the way.
Yeah.
Or no, he beat the Eagles in 2021. That's right, not 2020. But it is what it is.
And Jai's also right. The Eagles have not beaten us as a supreme team either, but that's because we have not been a supreme team. But she's right. She's right, though.
It's gas. Dominic, thank you so much, brother. He's been watching your vids since JPP blew off his fingers. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Dominic. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, that was a long time ago. But I appreciate that. I've been around a long time on here. It's pretty funny. Chris and I have done Talking Giants this is our 6th year, right? 18, 19,
6th year, yeah.
I think this offseason, at some point when there's not a lot of football to talk about, I think one of these shows, we should go back and react to some of our early shows. When there's not a lot of football to talk about, I think it'd be kind of fun to go back and just look at some of them, just to hear what we say and how much actually changed.
Well, I mean, a lot's going to change over the course of 5 or 6 years. But,
the players, but the needs of the team.
Yeah.
We're talking about what's going on. Is because when I look back at them, it was funny just listening to some of the things you were saying. Some of these things still are the same. Carlos's vids. Thank you so much. I think that's Family Guy there. He's got it looks like me right now. Just I have less face, but I have as much stubble. DJ has almost the same exact stats so far as Justin Fields. Justin Fields has been catching hell. Yeah, Giants fans praise Jones for week 2.
And I don't watch Justin Fields games like I watch Daniel Jones, but they both have 2 touchdowns and 3 picks. But Daniel Jones's picks, 2 of them went off of both of Saquon Barkley's hands. So, and Justin Fields in his career to this point has 5 wins and 22 losses. Daniel Jones, I think, is built up a little bit more, at least in my opinion, a little bit more. And he's been in the league longer. You could make that argument if you're pro Justin Fields, but he's built up more credit. He won a playoff game. The Giants are 1-1. He had an historical comeback. Justin Fields to this point has not proven he could throw the football and win football games. No. Let's just call it how it is. I'm not saying he won't be able to do that, but if you're just going to look at stats, we'll put it in context. 2 of Daniel Jones' interceptions went off of 2 of Saquon Barkley's hands. So I don't watch Justin Fields' interceptions, but if you're just going to look at stats, to me, that's silly. Daniel Jones played very well overall, all things considered, in my opinion. He had 1 really bad interception. The Cowboys game, he had no chance, and he played incredible in the second half of that Cardinals game. I don't care about comparing him to Justin Fields. Who would I rather have as my quarterback? I don't even think twice. I take Daniel Jones. Yeah,
Justin Fields is a running back that can throw. That's what he is. Justin Fields is, we'll just use some stats here, okay? Justin Fields' QBR this year is 22.2. Daniel Jones' QBR is 51.2. Daniel Jones is top 5 in QBR last year. He led the league in interception percentage last year. Won a playoff game last year. Justin Fields, not good. I don't know what to say. His rating is 70.7. That's terrible. And last year he fumbled 16 times. He's fumbled 31 times in 27 games.
Yeah.
They're not similar.
And listen, Fields could end up being good. A lot of people are saying the coaching, and that's fair. We said it for Daniel Jones. Maybe if he does get good coaching, he'd be good. But yeah, I mean, right now the Bears had the first pick last year. They had the first pick. Could you imagine what the national media would be saying about Daniel Jones if his team finished with the first pick? That's why I didn't understand the Fields praise coming into the year. I know he had good stats at the end of the year and he put up good fantasy stats. They had the first pick in the draft. I had never seen a team where the quarterback stayed pretty much completely healthy all year the year before, where his team finished with the first pick and people were raving as if the guy was a top 10 quarterback. And he has talent. Maybe he will end up being a great quarterback. But right now I'm taking Daniel Jones, and I'm not even thinking twice.
I want to know who Justin Fields is catching hell from.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Because I
haven't said a word about Justin Fields.
I don't think Justin Fields is good at all, personally.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter to me. We don't ever play the Bears. And when we do, we beat them. So I don't care, except for when we had Jake Fromm. that one was bad. Or was it Glennon when we had -10 passing yards against them? But yeah, I don't know where that comparison came from. I've never. People say great things about Justin Fields all the time in the media. They bash Daniel Jones on a consistent basis. No, ma'am. I think a very overlooked play was DJ saving that pick six and only leading to a field goal. That play was huge looking back at it and how the game played out. Yeah, because it did look like he was going to return it for a touchdown, and the defense tightened up. So good call by you, because he did make the tackle, and they did settle for a field goal, and that was a big difference. Agreed.
Yeah. That's a good call by him.
One of the great names, by the way, too, because if you're our age and remember the great Al Bundy and Married with Children. I forgot what No Ma'am stood for. I never remember it because it was a long thing, but I always remember that. It was just something against females, and that was Al in a nutshell. KN, thank you so much. Says, I don't know what will happen to DJ's giant career, but the kid is a tough son of a bitch. Yes, he is. Physically and mentally, he never complains. Agreed.
Yeah, we don't know.
Tougher than shoe leather, Daniel Jones.
There's no guarantees, especially in the NFL. Things happen, right? I mean, Carson Wentz went from a guy that was pretty much a consensus top 5 to 7 quarterback in the league to out of a starting position within 2 or 3 years. So the NFL is a completely unpredictable sport. You don't know how things are going to pan out due to injuries, due to several other variables. But yeah, I'm glad he's the quarterback right now. And I personally think he's only going to get better. I think he's going to be a starting quarterback for the Giants a lot longer than some may think. I don't think this is going to be a 2-year experiment. I think he's going to be with this team for quite a bit.
I do too.
Yeah.
And like I said, maybe they found something in McKeithen. Who knows? Yeah. He was a 5th-round draft pick last year. Spent most of the year hurt. But maybe they found something. Zudu's not going to play left tackle. I mean, he will this week, but he's not the future left tackle. But if your guards, it can be a Zudu and McKeithen with JMS, and Evan Neal comes around, that's kind of what the Giants envision, because that would be your young offensive line that you drafted. Those would be all Shane's, except for Thomas. Those would be all Shane's guys if you're able to put that together. That would be that's what I would imagine their vision was we'll keep Andrew Thomas. We're going to draft Evan Neal. We're going to get these 2 guards or tackles and play him at guard and get center. Maybe that turns out to be something. That might be the line by the end of the year. Who knows? But all I know is give Daniel Jones time to throw.
I think the key is finding a unit that you believe in and sticking with it and letting them grow together. And based off last week, even when Thomas comes back, and I think it'll probably be against Seattle. I don't know that, but if I had to guess, Azudu needs to stay in the lineup. He played well, not a tackle, of course, but he needs to stay in the lineup. You got to get Azudu some reps at the guard spot. But I think they need to find a combination, whether that's McKeithen and Azudu at whatever it is, and you got to stick with it and you got to build with it.
I completely agree. Cheeton, thank you for super chat, brother. says, I don't know, but I'm feeling upset. Reminds me of the Ravens win last year. God, if you're listening to us fans, I'm sorry, God, if you're listening, give us fans something to cheer about. We've been through a lot. I agree. We're going to need Jesus. I might have to bring Jesus out of the corner and over to the computer.
I went back and looked at it. I'm surprised the Ravens weren't favored by more last year. Well, now that I said that, you're going to guess lower, but what would you have guessed coming back from London, short rest? What would you have guessed the spread was last year against Baltimore with a healthy Lamar Jackson?
I would have said 4.5.
Well, I would have guessed at least 6.5 or 7, and it was 5.5. I thought it'd be higher.
Because we were home, though. That was why.
That's true. We were home. Yeah, I was just curious, Bob.
That would have been my guess for sure. But that was a hell of a comeback. There's no question.
Great game.
Corporate, my man. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you very much. That's really nice. Thank you.
He says, call me a delusional fool. I'm not calling you that. But as I told you before, tomorrow is our upset game of the season. I just hope you're right, brother. I hope you're right. In spite of no Saquon, no line, and no defense, we will win just because most on planet Earth expect us to lose. That's why they play the games. Like I said, man, just keep it close. Keep it close. If we're in that fourth quarter with a chance to win, that's when the dog feels that they can do it, and that's when the pressure starts to really mount against the favorite.
Legend must have just tuned into the stream. You'll get to that super chat in a bit, but I literally said that at the top of the stream. Call me a delusional fan, but as I told you before, tomorrow is our upset game. I hope you're right. I'm going to go into the game as a fan and praying we could win. It's going to be a very tough game, though. Very tough game.
We'll be here tomorrow. What time is that game? 8:20?
Probably.
So
yeah, it's usually when they play on Thursday night. Yeah.
Double check. It's 8:50. So we'll be live at
7:45.
7:55, somewhere in there. 7:57. Somewhere in there. I got to go to the gym, and I got to come home and eat and be ready to go. Get a damn good meal. Hope I don't throw it up. But like you, Chris, I'm not. If they do stupid penalties, like dumb shit, I'll get mad at that. But I'm with you. This isn't the Dallas game. I know what we're up against. I am not waiting 8 months, and this is not a NFC East rival.
And you're also going in the game without Barkley and Thomas.
Right. It's a different.
And you're on the road.
Right. It's a different set of. So obviously, I want them to win. Obviously, I'm going to shoot my ass off for them. But if they go down 30-0, I'm not going to sit here and scream and yell. Now, if they get stupid, if they're a 3rd and goal from the 2 and there's a false start, I ain't going to like that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I just want it to be close. I just want a chance. Just give me a chance. Just give me a chance. Cruise on.
Give me a hell yeah.
Thank you so much. He says, when I'm debating idiots on YouTube, that DJ is good, but he has had an awful offensive line since he's been in the league. That's when I get the race thing. Sorry for bringing it up. It's just not true. No, you don't need to be sorry for that. Listen, definitely happens on YouTube.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens in the national media. It is what it is. It's because the national media spins that stuff. And then parrots, without actual accounts, come on here and just type. That's what they do.
Yeah.
So it's just like I said, for me, I've been around a long time watching the Giants, and it's always the same thing has always rung true with high Giants draft picks. Like Kerry Collins didn't really get beat up, and Dave Brown didn't. Dave Brown sucked.
Mm-hmm.
So that was different. And Kent Graham sucked, and Danny Cannell sucked, but they were not first-round picks. I mean, you look at Sims, he was number 7 overall. You look at Eli, he was number 1 overall. We traded for him. And then Daniel Jones was 6th overall. So part of it is they're held to a very high set of standards in the toughest media market to play in. And now Daniel Jones, because of the Eli Manning connection with Cutcliffe and all this other stuff, now he's kind of held to Eli. See, I don't know what Sims' deal with. I don't know what Sims' standards were. Eli came in here with standards of he's Peyton's brother, so he's got to live up to do what Peyton does.
And he was the first overall pick. He was the guy that forced his way to New York. He put even more pressure on himself with that.
Right. So he had that going in immediately. And now Daniel, so people expect him to live up to be Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Now you get Daniel Jones, who has the Manning connection. Manning won 2 Super Bowls here. Manning's a Hall of Famer. Now people put that Eli Manning expectation on Daniel Jones, whether that be fair or not. So when he starts to not live up to what Eli did, he sucks. When Eli didn't live up to what Peyton did, although I take Eli any day of the week in the postseason or in the clutch, but he didn't put up the regular season number of Peyton. Nobody did. Okay, he sucks. He's not Peyton. I think that's part of it. Like Sims' deal, I don't know what the deal was with Sims, because I can't imagine Sims was compared to anything, because the Giants sucked for 12 years or 15 years before he got here.
Yeah.
But they don't give the Giants quarterbacks credit. They're hard on. And again, Cruzon, a Jets fan would have to tell me. I don't think the Jets quarterbacks take the heat that the Giants quarterbacks do. I really don't.
They're not there long enough.
Well, good point.
That's just the truth. It's not even knocking the Jets. It's just the truth. They're not there long enough to take heat. It's, and that's what I find ironic. Like, people bash the Giants quarterbacks. Tell me a team in recent history where that they've drafted 3 quarterbacks since when was Sims drafted? About 1980?
That's 79, yeah.
All right. It's not common to have 3 quarterbacks that reach second contracts in a 30 or 40 year span. You look around the league, there's constant turnover at the quarterback position. So the Giants have, I mean, they obviously had that doldrum there for about
the 90s, pretty much.
Yeah, well, Collins was good for 4 years, or 3 years.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, they obviously had a little bit of a doldrum there, but they've done a pretty good job in terms of evaluating that position in the draft. I don't think anybody in somewhat recent history.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, outside of from after Sims retired, we got Kerry Collins, and you had kind of at a carousel. You had Kerry Collins here. Then Kurt Warner was here for like half a year. And then you had Eli for 15 years. You had Sims for 15 years. And hopefully we have Daniel Jones for 15 years. And hopefully Daniel Jones, at the end of his career, did what Eli and Sims did, won 2 Super Bowls. I signed up for that.
Yeah, of course.
Mike, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you, brother. He says, you do need a T-shirt with the hysterical caricatures of both you together screaming at the TV classic where we draft the Daniel Jones. No. That was pretty good. Yeah, that'd be a good one. Choking myself up, but yeah. I was
not our proudest moment, but definitely definitely a funny T-shirt. Yeah.
Maybe most memorable.
Yeah. Ooh, good question.
Yeah.
I'll go. Top 5 teams. I'll go. 49ers, Eagles. Still got to put them in there, even though they haven't looked what maybe some expected. Of course, this is in no specific order. I'm just naming 5 teams. And I'm starting in the NFC off the top of my head. 49ers and Eagles are the first 2 for sure in the NFC. I'll get back to the NFC in a second. Chiefs. I don't care that they're off to a sluggish start. They're still the freaking Chiefs.
Yeah.
They're in the top 5. And then, interesting after that. The Bengals are not off to a good start. I don't think you could put them in there right now. The Bills lost to the Jets. They're really good, but I think right now you have to put the Cowboys in the top 5. They've looked really good. It's early, but right now I think you have to put them in the top 5. And then who would be the other team in the AFC? Who's off to a good start in the AFC? Let me take a look. Dolphins. They are off to a good start. Yes. And they've looked pretty impressive too. They might be right now. I'd have to have the Dolphins above the Bills because the Bills lost to the Jets. The Ravens are 2-0, but I feel like they haven't looked super impressive. Yeah, I think the Dolphins would be in my top 5. I think it'd be Cowboys in no specific order. Cowboys, Eagles, Niners, and then the Chiefs and the Dolphins. I think that would be my top 5.
Yeah, 49ers first. I put again, you're going by, I put the Cowboys second. I think the Cowboys have won. Again, they haven't played the best teams. I think we're better than 40-0, but they're still really good. I put them second. Eagles, I put third, just because they haven't looked ultra impressive, but they're still 2-0. Yeah, and it's not like they haven't played. I don't know the Patriots. I don't really know how they are, but Minnesota's not a slouch. And then the Dolphins, to me, the Dolphins and the Chiefs, I think, are the 2 best teams in the AFC. And I picked the Dolphins to beat every team in this division. Like, I was very high on Miami going into this year if Tua stays healthy.
Yeah.
So I agree with Chris. I think those are my top 5 teams as well. Legend Coachy, thank you for the super chat. these thumbnails. Ice Mike, of course, our guy Chris Calith and Legend Coaches. These guys also spent some time in the Iron Paradise. Respect, respect, fellas. Respect. I get that life. I understand that lifestyle. Respect. He says, somebody please let Chris know DJ's second half stats have never been done by anyone in NFL history. Just hope he's not injured after the game.
I said Vic. I thought I heard on the radio today that Vic did do it.
In a game, though, not in a half, I think is what the difference is.
I thought Vic did it in a half because tons of people have done that in a game. 250 passing yards at 50. Yeah.
Maybe it was.
I thought I heard that Vic was the last guy to do it. I think he was the first Giant to ever do it. But even if it's Vic, it was like 20 years ago. So that's still insane.
He's a Falcon.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I think I heard Vic was the last guy to do it, but maybe I'm wrong.
Either way, it's extremely impressive.
Yeah.
We needed every one of those yards.
Yeah.
Every one of those touchdowns. All of it. It was a tremendous performance. Tremendous, quite frankly. It's a big performance. Daniel Jones doing huge things, quite frankly. You can't have a stream without Trump Dog showing up. Cole, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it.
Okay, yeah. So I just looked it up just to clear it up, Baddog. I just looked it up. The only other quarter, I'm going to read it right here, word for word. Much of the credit goes to Jones in the second half. He completed 17 to 21 passes, 259 yards, including touchdown passes to Barkley Hodges, blah, 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 blah. 58 yards on the ground. He had 250 yards passing, 50 yards rushing, throw multiple touchdown passes, and rush for a touchdown and not commit a turnover in the second half of a game. The only other quarterback to compile such numbers in any half is Michael Vick on November 15th, 2010. Vick then with the Eagles threw for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns and ran for 66 yards and 2 scores in the first half of a 59-28 victory over Washington. Wow. So he's the first one since Vick and the only one other than Vick to do it.
Damn, if you had Vick on your fantasy team that week, you won.
Yeah.
You won.
Yeah.
Cole, thank you, my friend. He says, AT, Neal, JMS, McKeith, and Azudu, moving Neal the guard. It's very possible that they do that. But like I said earlier, I think that what you have up there, Cole, is their envision of what that offensive line should be. Yeah. And hopefully that's what it is because that's a very young core of guys there. If they could pan out and be, like I said, above average, it's going to be a good team. Got to find a way to beat them damn Cowboys, though. Ayub! Whoops, there we go. Hal is nice, and the optimism is not warranted.
The optimism for what? The Giants or Hal? I don't know. It's probably about the Giants when he says that. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows about Hal? He's played 2 games. He made garbage. A couple. I didn't watch Washington's whole game. I saw some highlight clips. Yeah, he made a really nice throw into a tight window. I saw that for a touchdown, but I mean, who's that? They've played Arizona, and I know we have too, but it's been 2 games for Sam Howell. Played Arizona and Denver. So let's see. Dallas. Yeah, let's see how he does. It's been 2 games for Sam Howell. So let's let some teams get some tape on him. But hey, I thought Sam Howell was being a little bit underrated by people going into the year. I don't think he's very great or anything, but I think he's a capable quarterback. He's a dual threat quarterback. He can run.
They're all dual threats. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. But it's just funny how, he has one good game. Daniel Jones had a really good game too. But somehow somebody's better than Daniel Jones now. I don't know. Everybody's better than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones ought to come work in my office. He's obviously not going to be a quarterback, Chris. I mean, shit. He according to some people, the bum don't even belong in the NFL. Yeah. He don't even belong in the CFL. It doesn't matter. Russell Reed, thank you, my friend.
Hell yeah.
I live out here in Chicago, and Fields doesn't get jack. There you go. He doesn't hear it from the media. He wouldn't survive a second in New York or Philly. His performance is on level of the Giants' O-line. Hot garbage for the past 2 years. There's a guy that lives in Chicago, so he doesn't take any heat.
I wouldn't know. I don't watch Chicago Bears games. I know I did see that Fields came out without saying it. I guess he insinuated it that he kind of blamed the coaching. I saw that, which whether that's true or not, I don't think I ever want my quarterback, who's supposed to be like the guy who's the CEO of the football team, to publicly come out and bash the coaching staff. So I wasn't in love with that in terms of if he was my quarterback.
No. It's
Yeah.
not what you want. It's not what you want to do. Ayub, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. How do you call Fields bad but give DJ little excuses? I just told you. Justin Fields' QBR is 22 this year. He's won 5 games his entire career. He fumbled 16 times last year. He has 31 fumbles in 27 career games. He has 26 touchdowns and 24 interceptions. That's bad. He's inaccurate. His mechanics are terrible. There is no excuse. What do you mean give DJ all excuses? Daniel Jones won a playoff game last year. Justin Fields doesn't have a good offensive line. Neither does Daniel Jones.
I don't even know if any I mean, I think we're both of the mindset that he could maybe become good. If he, I'm personally not ruling that out. If he got good coaching and he matured. But I'm of the mindset of the praise for Fields was way too early. He has not earned praise and the amount of hype that he got going into the year. That's my mindset with Justin Fields.
He's a good athlete. I don't think he's a good quarterback. But then again, Ayub, I've never liked any quarterback from Ohio State, and you can ask anybody that's watched my channel for however long I've had it.
Yeah.
I don't like Ohio State quarterbacks. I don't like Florida quarterbacks, and I don't like USC quarterbacks. Caleb Williams don't count because he came from Oklahoma. So, disclaimer there, because Caleb Williams is going to be an absolute beast in the NFL. I freaking love him. Michael Penix is going to be a beast too. Love him too. Those two guys. November 4th. I cannot wait for Washington, USC. I'm circled that one on my calendar. Corp, thank you so much. I appreciate that, my friend. He says, real life fact, I became an NFL fan in '94 and bet on the Niners to beat the boys. Although they made me money, I became loyal to the Giants during the Dave Brown years. That's how you know you're a loyal Giants fan, when you become loyal to the Giants during the Dave Brown years.
That was tough. I remember watching that as a kid.
Run, pass, punt. You're out. And it was run with Charles Way. Charles Way was our best player. We had Chris Callaway, Mark Jackson. We had all the Denver cast-offs because, Dan Reeves was our head coach. So he brought all the Denver guys, even the kicker. Who the hell was the kicker? Mike Horan was a punter. He came from Denver. I forgot our kicker. It wasn't Del Wiso yet. Maybe it was. I don't remember the hell our kicker was in there, but he liked that. But when you become a Giants fan in that era, you're a Giants fan for life. Not that
it's like this era too, by the way.
True. Yes. If you became a fan in this era of Giants football, you'll never stop loving the Giants.
Yeah.
Because I became a fan when they were just getting good. Like I got in when the get was good in the 80s. Russell, my man, thank you so much for super chat, brother. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Back in the day, the Giants D carried the team. Yes, it did. They were elite and often won games single-handedly. O-line was better. Sims had much less pressure than DJ, I think. Well, definitely, there was no social media. So
and he's right. I mean, he also had one of the greatest defenses in the history of the NFL to support him. That's fair. Same thing with Eli, by the way. As much as I love Eli, I mean, look what Eli had. I mean, Eli had, when he was in his prime, he had the best offensive line in the league, or one of, and he had the best defensive line in the league, or one of. So, and weapons galore. So, yeah, I mean, it's apples and oranges when you compare these quarterbacks because the situations have been completely different. Eli Manning, his first, 10 years plus in the league, more than that, 12 years in the league, he had the same head coach.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones has gone through three different head coaches already. So it's completely different situations.
It is. But then again, like I said, with Sims, you just compare him to his peers.
Yeah.
And he was definitely a top 10 quarterback in the 80s. He was better than Tommy Kramer. He was better than Steve DeBerg. He was better than those guys. He was better. Like I said, he wasn't better than Dan Marino. He was better than Ken O'Brien. He wasn't better than John Elway.
Right.
But he was better than Dave Craig. I mean, he was better than a lot of quarterbacks back then. He's better than Doug Flutie. He was better than whoever the hell Tampa Bay. I mean, Vinny Testaverde was their quarterback at the beginning. He was terrible at the beginning of his career. I don't even know who the hell the quarterback was in Green Bay. He was terrible. Was it Lynn Dickey or whoever, Craig Wills. I don't even remember who the other quarterback was. They're bad. Green Bay was bad in the 80s. So that's the way I look at it, though. I just feel like Sims got a lot of crap. In 86, though, yes, he was cared by the defense. That offense didn't get hot till the end of the year. They won a lot of close games. They made a lot of comebacks, and they won with tough defense. There's always been Giants football. That has always been the way the Giants have won
That's
football.
when we were at our best. If we're being honest, our best teams with Eli. Eli's best year, we didn't have a team like that, but our best teams with Eli was like that. It was run, situational football, making big plays when you need to at the quarterback spot, and incredible defense. That was it. That's how we won football games.
Completely agree. Jordan, my man, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Appreciate it. Jordan says, went to my second ever New York Giants game last week. I live in Arizona. The Giants fans turn out. They were a lot of Giants fans there. And the funny thing was, Jordan, Chris and I are watching that game, and I just see all the Giants fans sitting in the stands like this. And I'm like, I know how you're feeling. I know that feeling. So flying out to New York for the first time ever tomorrow. 21, been wanting to experience a New York Yankee game my whole life. Much love. You will love. You know the Yankees suck. I will say this, Jordan. The new stadium is nice. It's a very nice stadium, but it's too bad that you did not get to experience the real Yankee Stadium, because that was totally different. The atmosphere is just way different in that ballpark, that old ballpark. It was something special. It's one thing, being older always sucks. I mean, everybody wants to be young their whole life. But that's one good thing about me being the Gen Xer, is that I got to see the Giants win all their championships. I'm old enough to remember all four of those. I'm old enough to remember the shitty 80s Yankees, but enjoy that dynasty in the 90s and go to those, the shitty Meadowlands where there was literally a carpet. Such a crappy stadium. But the memories are great. They're good teams. But enjoy it, man. New York is, I don't live in the city, but I visited many, many, many times, and you will have a blast.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Have a great time.
Without question. You certainly will. But, hey, man, you might have to you might have to fly back to New York and go to the Seattle game if you're, going to games and they're winning. That might have to happen. Don, thank you, my friend. He says Wandale's cleared to play. Just got the update, so maybe we can use him out of the backfield on some plays, like move him all over the field. It just gives him another piece to play around with. I got to imagine he'll be on a limited snap count. So
wow, that must have just came out because he was questionable last I checked. So interesting.
I don't know how I got to imagine he's on a limited snap count, but maybe you could use him on some end arounds or like I said, something tricky with him. A double reverse, flea flicker back to Jones. Like, I don't know, like just something to kind of mix it up.
I'm not surprised by that, though, because there was a reason. You knew that there was a reason they didn't put him on the PUP. And you had to figure he was going to be active before, I think, week 5, because otherwise it wouldn't have made sense not to do that. So I'm not surprised that he's active. I'm excited. I don't expect him to have a huge role. The guys have played football in almost a year in terms of in an actual game. So he's still pretty much a rookie. That's the way I look at him. Like, he's pretty much a rookie on the same level as a guy like Jalen Hyatt. So, but it'll be interesting because he's definitely a guy that could present different looks for an opposing defense. He could definitely make this a tougher offense to game plan for. So I'm excited to see that Wandale's back for the Giants.
Without question. By the way, we still have over 700 people in here. We're 30 likes away from 500. Let's get 500 likes. Let's do it. Cruise on. Thank you so much. He says, am I the only Giants fan that turned off ESPN? Well, maybe. I never turn it on, so I can't turn it off. When they're praising Parsons. Listen, Micah Parsons deserves praise. When I say he's not Lawrence Taylor, don't think I'm by any stretch of the imagination saying Micah Parsons is not an absolute beast. I wouldn't kill to have him on our team, and I don't love watching him play. Don't get it twisted. The man is insane. I love guys like that. He is unbelievable. One of the best defensive players in the league, without question, right now. Fun to watch. It sucks that he's a Cowboy. I hate that. But, he's not Lawrence Taylor. But he does deserve praise. We passed on them at 11. I did a video on that how much I wanted them. And yeah, that sucks. I wish we would have taken, especially knowing that we ended up with Kadarius Toney in that draft. We could have had Micah Parsons. And then yes, the division rival got him, which sucks. So think about it. The Eagles traded up ahead of us to get Devontae Smith, and then Gettleman trades back, and then the Cowboys get Micah Parsons. That was not a good draft.
Yeah. I'll be the first to say, Cruzon, I wanted Slater in that draft. And part of that was based off of I knew we would never take Parsons because of the stuff that came out before the draft. I just knew it. I knew we weren't, and we needed a tackle badly. And Slater would have been a great pick too. But yeah, if I was doing a redraft today, yeah, of course, Parsons would be my pick. Of course, if we were doing a legitimate redraft, Parsons would probably go first overall. I'm trying to think of the draft. He would, right? Yeah, so he would have never gotten to us in the first place.
Up there. One thing I can say is
who was the first pick in that? I'm trying to think of the draft. Who was the first pick in that draft? Probably a quarterback.
What year was it?
2021. That was the Jalen Waddle, the Devontae Smith, that draft. The rich tackle draft with Wirfs. No. Thomas was with Wirfs. I'm trying to remember that draft. I'm gonna look it up now.
I do know that.
Trevor Lawrence. It was Trevor Lawrence.
There you go.
Lawrence would probably still go first just because he's a quarterback.
Parsons would go second.
And Parsons would go second. Yeah.
I do remember saying that my favorite receiver in that draft class was Jalen Waddle. And I think Jalen Waddle was going to be the
we both agreed on that.
And Waddle has been. I love Jalen Waddle. The guy's a freaking beast. Big Moo. Thanks so much for the super chat. Says, thank you for being my friend, Bad Dog. There you go.
Thank you for being a friend.
There you go, Big Moo. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate that. The Big Moo. It's funny. He made me the offer that I couldn't refuse. He said, "Bad, I make it off. You can't refuse." And he did. He made me an offer I couldn't refuse. But I think Big Moo misses it a little bit. Who doesn't love the Golden Girls? Irish Rover, my man. Thank you for the super chat.
Hell yeah.
Thanks so much. He says, hey, Bad Dog. Hey, Chris. Just got home from poker night. I hope you won. Oh, not good for me tonight. Well, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. Sorry I'm late. You don't ever need to apologize. Life is way more important than us two.
Hopefully you wanted poker.
He didn't. It said not good.
Not good for me.
Yeah, I read this. I read it after.
Hopefully you win next week in poker.
Yeah, life's way more important than hanging out with us two Mamalukes. He says, sorry I'm late. Did I miss any predictions? No, we didn't do predictions yet.
We'll do it now.
I just hope we're competitive tomorrow. That's what we said.
Do you want my realistic prediction or do you want my fan prediction?
For fan prediction for the ratings of this show.
Yeah. No, my honest prediction. Yeah, I do think we're going to put up some points. I think Daniel Jones, he's going to have some turnovers because we're going to force the ball. We're going to try to make big plays. I think we'll put up 20, 23 points in this game. I think the Giants will put up some points, but I don't think we're stopping the 49ers. I see it something like 34-23, something like that. I think the Niners win between low double digits, 10 to 14 points. That's the type of game I see tomorrow. Yeah, I think they narrowly cover, and I think it's a game scored in the mid to high 50s. I actually think it'll be a pretty high scoring game. I don't know what the over under is, but I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring game.
I think it'll be that high. I think that'd be the over. I don't think that someone's going to have that in the 50s, just because I don't think people think the Giants will score. I'm similar. I do, again, being realistic and looking at the team that we're dragging in there with no Thomas and no Barkley. As a fan, I want to sit here and tell you so bad. Yeah, I think we can actually come out of there with a win. I think we can do it. I go into every game really thinking we can win. Even though in my head, or I know the odds are extremely long against us. In my heart, I want to say we're going to win. But I think the Niners are going to win, and I don't think it's going to be. I'm not going to say it's not going to be competitive because I do. I think it'll be close for a half. But I think at the end, I just think the talent is too much, and I think we're going to lose something like 31-17. That's kind of what I have. I think it could easily be 17-17 at halftime.
Yeah.
And we lose, or it could be 24-17 at halftime, or 24-10, or whatever, 17-10. I think it's close in the first half. I think the Niners kind of get away from us in the second half, just because, again, I just think the talent will outlast us. All we can hope for is that both Chris and I are wrong, and that the Niners come out and don't play well, and that we execute. We have to play perfect. We really do. We have to play perfect football, and we have not done that the first 2 weeks. So
The thing that really worries me, I mean, everything worries me in this game, if I'm being honest. But one thing that I think we're another big disadvantage for us in this game is our run defense versus their run game.
yeah, Jesus.
I mean, they're notorious for having the best run scheme in the NFL, which is why I was so like blown away when they got McCaffrey, because having him in the Shanahan offense with the pre-snap motion, like they're known for drawing, pre-snap motion, which creates running lanes for the running back. And we so far have not been good against the run, something we thought we'd be better at this year. I don't know the numbers, but I know that they're number one. They're averaging 5.6 yards a carry. We have not been very good against the run, much like last year. So that's another area where I'm like, I don't see us having a lot of success there. I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to run the ball down our throat. And then as we have to stack the box to try to stop McCaffrey, it's going to open up big plays in the passing game. It's going to be challenging tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a very challenging game.
I do like the optimism. Okay, and since we go in this game, Purdy doesn't scare me. Where's the other one? King Maddox says 34-27 GMAT. I would love it. Big Moose says just beat the crap out of Purdy. He's not that good. I mean, I would love to win this game. What's this one say? You guys should try to test Purdy's arm. Yeah, I mean, that's we got
to stop the run to test his arm, though.
Right. Yeah, it's worrisome. The Niners are really freaking good. I mean, they're really good. This I'm not going to agree to. I think anytime you lace them up,
there's always a chance. Always a chance. Always a chance.
It's not a great chance, but it's
we see upsets.
Puncher's chance. Because if we can hit some deep plays against them, because like Chris said, their secondary is probably the weakest part of their defense, and we got some guys that can run. Yeah. If they can find a way to give Daniel Jones some time and these guys can get behind the secondary, then maybe we can hit a couple big plays. Or maybe, like I said, they grab at a guy that goes flying by him and we get a big 35-yard pass interference call. But like Chris said, our defense has really shown no propensity to stop anybody on the ground, and that is probably the best running back in the league.
And even if he wasn't playing, even before they got him, they always had a great ground attack, whether it be Elijah Mitchell, like the guy that we have, Breida was good there. Like they've always, because of their play caller, they're great. That's what he's known for, the pre-snap motion in terms of the run game. So it's definitely going to be prepared to have an aggravated game. You're going to be watching this game, and you're going to see pre-snap motion. You're going to see huge holes in the running game. They're the best at it. So it's going to be a challenge. It's a good test for our run defense, but it started to get a little better last week. I'll say that Okereke definitely started to make more of an impact in that second half, clogging up running lanes, but this is a different animal. It's going to be, it's tough. This is tough. But our only shot is to take some big swings in this game.
Listen, Chris, now I'll be live right here on this channel tomorrow night and watch the whole thing, like I said, with about 4,000 of our closest friends, and hopefully we can pull up the biggest upset of the year so far. Corp, my friend, thank you for the super chat. I love that drop. I'm a Gen Xer, so obviously I love the Karate Kid. He says, I'm a Gen Degeneration Xer just like you. Nice. I love Miami Vice. Then you definitely are a Gen Xer, because if you're Gen Xer, of course you love Miami Vice. Which is why Saquon better be back for the Finns-Giants game. I think he'll be back for that one. That's week 5. I think he'll be back for that, because that'd be October 8th. I would think he should be back.
I'm leaning that's the game he's going to be back. I don't think he'll be back for the next 2. I'm leaning he'll be back for the Dolphins game. The absolute latest, the Bills game. But hoping at least that he'll be back for the Dolphins game.
Aces Bates says Thursday night games can be fluky. Playing on a short week. Yeah.
He's right. That's a factor. You see, if there's a night of the week where something crazy could happen, it is Thursday night, because it's not the typical routine. Maybe we catch them sleeping on us. Maybe we catch them coming out and playing a D game instead of a B+A game, and we could capitalize on it. We'll see.
Yep. Giants have played poorly in the first. They really have, except for the Colts game. I felt like we came out and played well.
Even that game, not the whole entire first half, of course, but the first quarter, even that game we came out a bit sloppy. Paris Campbell hit the huge play. I think we had a turnover on our first drive, or maybe it was a 3 and I don't remember. I was at the game, but even in that game, on the first 2 or 3 drives, we came out a little sluggish, I feel.
Yeah, it's a good point. Really haven't gotten off to good starts. It'd be nice to get off to a damn good start, without question. Bill says more Simmons and more pleased to just see who's mic'd up. I didn't see him get mic'd up, but I'm with you. I want more Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
I want more Isaiah Simmons. And I'm telling you, man, I want Wink Martindale to just go up to Isaiah Simmons and say, just blitz.
No.
Just go get the quarterback. Just go get the quarterback. Don't worry about coverage. Don't worry about run blitz and not. Just go get Brock Purdy.
That's it.
That's it. But listen, guys, we kind of went over tonight. So I just want to say, again, still have 700 people in here, which is unbelievable, man. So thank you guys and girls so much. Really, really, really appreciate all the support. Again, remember, we'll be back here tomorrow in about 21 hours. 20 and a half hours. About 7:55, probably about 20 minutes before game time, somewhere in there. And we'll be live, and we'll call the game for you. And well, looking over Giants fans, like I said, we keep it close, we keep it competitive, and we have a chance in the fourth quarter. That is really all we can ask for. This, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like I've said, this whole stream, the Niners, in my opinion, are the best team in football. They have the best 53-man roster overall. They do everything well. We're going in there without 2 of our best players on offense, and this is no easy task. We need to take some shots. We need to hit some shots. We can't have stupid penalties. We have to win the turnover battle. Every cliche that you can think of about winning a football game, we need to complete.
Yeah. Yeah.
Johnny, thank you for the super chat. Hey, guys, good news. I want the Giants to win tomorrow. There you go. Screw the crybabies from last year's. Let's sing Fly Eagles right into the side of a building, and good luck.
We appreciate it, John, but I don't think I like when you root for us, because last time you did, we got killed 40-0. Right. So well, I think I want you pulling for the 49ers tomorrow, John.
Maybe if we did what you did and we knocked Brock Purdy out of the game, we got a good chance.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, guys, girls, I appreciate you being here. We'll turn right around tomorrow and do it. Chris, got any last words?
Yeah, I might go live directly after work tomorrow. Just do like a pregame and get some traffic over to Bad Dogs for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So come on by for that. I'm thinking about doing it maybe at 5 o'clock. And then of course we're gonna be at Bad Dogs at 7:45. Whatever time for the game. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I just, like Bad Dog said, just keep it close. And then maybe the bounces go our way. Maybe we get some luck. It's going to take some luck. We know that going into this game. We're on the road. We're going up against maybe the best team in the league. So, and we're shorthanded. So keep it close. Don't make mistakes. Don't beat yourself. No stupid penalties. You can control that. The false starts, the roughing the passers. Don't beat yourself. We had some crappy penalties in the first half last week. We really cleaned that up in the second half. We got to be fundamentally sound. Special teams. We got to win all the hidden yardage. We can't beat ourselves in this game. And we got to hope that the Niners do beat themselves. And we got to capitalize when they give us opportunities. So we'll see how it plays out tomorrow. But I'm excited, man. We're coming off a win. And we're going up against we'll see where we'll see. I think the feeling we'll get out of this game is, was the Cowboys game a situation where just everything went wrong, or the Giants really that far away from the upper echelon teams in the NFL? I think you'll get a taste of that tomorrow.
Great. This is a measuring stick. Was the Cowboys game a fluke?
Yeah.
Was that the real, or is that the real Giants? Was the second half in Arizona? Is that the offense that is that actually capable of being more consistent, or was that the fluke? So it'll be tough. But we'll be here. We'll call it all for you. We hope to see you then. Till then, the Entertaining Talking Sports, this is the Bad Diggity Dizzle. Enjoy the rest of your happy hump day, and we'll see you next time. We out. Peace.